Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Sunday Night Blazing Pedals, the TRJKarting.com series. And we have a special guest for you up in the booth. We're going to get started right away. And I believe Rick has him over on the side.
Yes, I do, Chris. Welcome, everybody. We have Tim Habiuk here with the TRJKarting company. How you doing tonight, Tim?
Hey guys, how you guys doing tonight?
Doing fabulous, brother. How are you?
You guys there?
Yeah. Can you hear us, bud?
I am. Sorry, we jumped on iRacing there in a minute. I had 5 people talking to my ear at once.
Not a problem, brother. Welcome. You're the title sponsor here at Blazing Pedals. Why don't you give us a little rundown on what your company's all about, bud?
We're one of the leading suppliers in karting supplies, mainly dirt kart racing, but as well as road racing. My son has been racing karts for 8 years and started the iRacing deal last year. And I try to support everything that he does, as well as the bodies that he races for. And iRacing was no different. Good group of guys, so we decided to get involved with them.
Well, that's awesome, man. I know I've checked out your page a couple times, made a good order there, and I'm actually wearing my TRJKarting sweatshirt right now. It's I love this thing. I'm gonna have to order a couple more just so I have them. But man, it's great how watching Ian, and I've watched him in a few different leagues here, and especially here at Blazing Pedals where we first got to meet him. So it's really cool to see that he has that support from you, and watching him grow is something that just amazes me. Now, how did Ian get started into racing, and how did you get started into kart stuff?
I used to race karts when I was a kid, and then obviously even before he came out of Mama's womb, I had the idea that we were going to go kart racing, and he started racing when he was 8 years old, and he just turned 16. So this year he started moving up to the adult stuff in dirt racing a couple years ago, but road racing, this is his first year with the adults. So he's already jumping into two-stroke stuff, and just kind of going from there.
That's outstanding to see. Now, does he actually pull anything from iRacing? Because, like I said, I've seen him race a bunch of different vehicles here, so he's got to be getting something, right?
There's definitely a crossover between iRacing and even karting. I think the biggest thing that iRacing has taught him is patience. The one thing with road racing, being a 15 or 20-minute race, one of the tracks we race at is GoPro Motorplex. You got to learn patience, and that's one thing that iRacing I think has definitely taught him. And it also, when you don't have the seat time, the hand-eye coordination benefits of it is there's nothing else that can replace it.
Well, that's outstanding, brother. Listen, is there anything else you'd like to say? We're getting ready to go racing, man. I mean, I can't wait. We have about 11 minutes left of practice here, and I know we got a bunch of stuff to run down, but it's great to have you here, man. I support your company. I love supporting it, and we look forward to continuing working with you.
Oh, most definitely. I mean, this is our first foray into the e-sports type deal, and we're already thinking of a way this year with partnering with GoPro Motorplex to offer a karting scholarship for a junior racer. So we're working on those plans, and hopefully we'll have something released by the end of March, beginning of April with that. But the e-sports thing is blowing up, and iRacing is the perfect avenue for it.
Well, that's outstanding, buddy. If anybody out there is looking for, number one, any kind of, Tim's got all kinds of stuff at TRJKarting. Definitely head over to TRJKarting.com. He's also on Facebook. I know he's on Twitter, because I follow him there also. Is there any other easy ways for these guys to contact you, bud?
Oh, our website, TRJKarting.com. Our phone number's up there. Our store number's up there. Facebook. We're everywhere. We're kind of taking over the karting thing over the last 3 or 4 years. We've become a major presence. So we definitely keep on growing. And I appreciate what you guys do with the broadcast. You guys do a great job. And I make sure we share it every week. And we're getting a lot more followers on it, and it's good stuff.
Oh, that it definitely is. Well, there we have it, Chris. I don't know if you have anything to add, my friend.
No, definitely. Great job there, Rick. And Tim, again, thank you very much. Of course, it certainly helps when a league has a sponsor, a title sponsor, as it were. And, man, we love plastering your name up on screen every single Sunday night. And we really do appreciate you being here with us tonight.
Thanks a lot, guys. And I'll be spotting for you tonight and watching the broadcast later.
All right. Well, we're about to get going, guys. We're going to be right back around the corner. We're gonna hit the Star Spangled Banner, and then we got some house cleaning to do after the last race, Rick. So we will be right back.
we take you down onto the track for our opening ceremonies.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise. Please remove your hats.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
And we are back, getting ready to go here, Blazing Pedals, Talladega style. We've got 120 laps, 319 miles. Rick, this one's going to be a... We never want to drudge up the past, right? But a couple of weeks ago, there was some incidents going on out there. They've done a couple of things to try and help shore that up. I'm talking by they, I mean Mark and Ryan, actually going to start sitting out for the rest of the season. They're going to be live adminning these races, so... these guys better be on their toes because they're not going to put up with it anymore. And as a result of a couple weeks ago, Rick, we do have some EOL penalties going on tonight.
Yeah, we do, Chris. Tonight, receiving EOL is going to be the number 43, the number 14, 21, 5, 3, 86, 26, and the 27 truck going to be getting EOLs. We also have a couple of people that are going to be starting from the pits tonight, Chris. The number 16, the number 76, 8, 78, 66, and the 58.
Yeah, another really neat thing about tonight, these guys have started talking about doing one tire changes. So through the course of this race, they are allowed one pit stop, Rick. Now you can change 2 tires or 4 tires during that pit stop, but you do only have the one time that you're able to come down for full service, of course, fuel and tires. So that could play a very big role as to strategy coming down the pipe here in Talladega.
Well, that's a definite thing, Chris. I mean, usually Talladega, I mean, it is plate racing, so there is bound to be some action on the track. And those tires they're going to wear, but they're not going to wear so bad where these guys can't, you know, wheel these trucks around. And what Mark and Ryan are doing, Chris, I mean, we've done this in a league that we've ran before. You know, live admitting, it's never fun to get out of the truck or the car that you're racing to do this, but they're doing the right thing. They want to make sure that they're promoting good racing. Moving this pit stop thing, I think that's going to get really interesting, especially here. I mean, like you said, we got 120 laps. That's 319 miles. So you only get one chance to come down and get those tires. Is it going to, you know, it's the nice thing about this. Last time that we were here with these guys, we were off last week for the Super Bowl, but the week before we're at ISM Raceway over in Phoenix. And there, I mean, obviously the tires get chewed up, they get worn down. They're going to get worn down here too. I'm looking at the track temperature right now, Chris, 106 degrees right now with an air temp of 78. But it seems like at Talladega you can you know, you don't really worry about tires too much. I mean, if everybody's somewhere around the same strategy, they have the same old tires, you know, the pack's going to stay right there. So we're in for some good racing. But that's just one tire stop. And like you said, they can take 4, they can take 2, and then that's it for the rest of the race.
Yeah, and, you know, this is... We've started moving into the season now, Rick, and it's time to talk about points. And up front on the points board, Tyler Gary with 84. Then you've got Jamie Walker, Aaron Bockover, Tyler Dugan, Hunter King for your top 5. Chad Oxendine, Dalton Kilrow, Tyler Foster, Spencer Preet, and Ashton Slice are your top 10 drivers, Rick. And in the top 10, 20 points separating them. Yeah, that's pretty close. And we look forward to seeing what the point standing looks like after this race. About 3 minutes now before qualifying. And Rick, it's about time we start talking about speed. This is Talladega. This is the fastest track in the world. And they make some serious speed here, Rick. 175 miles an hour if you're out there by yourself. 187 to 190 miles an hour if you're pack racing, which, hey, it's Talladega. We're going to see pack racing. But the trick there, and what you hear out of that, is if you fall back on your own, you're going to lose the draft. You're going to lose the pack, and you're probably not going to win the race.
You're absolutely right, Chris. And I mean, with this tire change, now just to clarify for the viewers out there, they're allowed to pit as many times as they want during this race, but they can only change tires once during the 120 laps. So, you know, we're going to see a lot of guys coming down for fuel to repair some damage, doing that stuff. But you're absolutely right. Pack racing points, like you said, the points are very close, Chris. We're in the 3rd race of the season right now. There's still a little ways to go, obviously, but I'm excited, man. I'm glad that that Blazing Pedals has brought the trucks over here. And if there's anybody out there that wants to start racing trucks, these guys are a great group of guys. The way that they do it, they do have a Friday night league. You can find it with the Blazing Pedals Entry League on iRacing. And you sign up there. It's kind of like the step down to this one. So it's the same tracks, the same length. The only difference is it's not broadcast here on MaxSpeedTV at this time. But then as you race and you show and prove to these guys that you can race, then they move you up to what they would call the Premier Series here on Sunday nights. So, I mean, these trucks, they're going to be fast. It's going to be fun. I mean, 190 miles per hour doesn't sound fast, Chris, but when you have a bunch of other trucks around you, it gets interesting.
Yeah, 100 miles an hour sounds fast enough, especially when you can talk about 2 wide, 3 wide. I mean, really, it's limitless here at Talladega. And speaking of that Friday Night League, make sure you get a hold of either James Hatcher, Mark Arthur, or Sam Bobgarden, also Dalton Kilrow. So those 4 people, you can get a hold of them right in Facebook. You can check out Blazing Pedals Entry League on the iRacing directory. And, man, it's going to be a lot of fun there. If you don't have anything going on a Friday night, maybe you're looking to join these guys on a Sunday night, you do have to go through that entry league. So make sure to get out there and do that. Again, Rick said it. These guys are a great bunch of guys, fun to talk to, and they want some nice, clean racing going on. But we got 30 seconds to go, Rick. We got just enough time to talk about Talladega a little bit.
Talladega, Chris, you know, it may possibly be one of my favorite tracks on the service all around, but, you know, a little bit, you're right, you know, so these guys are racing the trucks here. The trucks actually started running in Dega in 1995. The first winner of that was Mike Skinner driving for RCR. And at the time, that was called the Super Truck Series by Craftsman. It wasn't even the Craftsman Truck Series at that time, but that's pretty cool, Chris. I mean, it's a big track, 2.66 miles deep at 36 degrees. Banking, making it the highest banked track. It also holds record for lead changes, 88 for 29 drivers in one race, Chris. And there's, I mean, it just goes on and on.
Yeah, if there's a record, Talladega is probably the place where it can get beat. And, man, oh, man, we had some blinking right there, so hopefully that doesn't continue on. Oh, I see why now. Switching on over into qualifying, Rick. So this is our first chance to see what these trucks can do on their own out there in Talladega land. It should be pretty fun to watch.
It's definitely going to be fun, Chris. I mean, it's going to be kind of like anything with like Daytona or anything like that. You're going to see a lot of these guys are going to be hugging that wall for the first lap or two, and then they're going to come right down. And obviously, the inside line is going to be the fastest way around the track. But I think we're in for some good racing tonight, brother. I'm kind of sad that I'm not out here racing with these guys. You know me, man. Talladega, Daytona, my 2 favorite tracks for big super speedways. And I'm just glad that I'm here with you tonight and these folks here with Blazing Pedals at the TRJKarting.com Truck Series, man. It's going to be good.
It sure is. And we are on board right now, the number 14 truck. That's James A. Mullins. James out there trying to get his truck up to speed. It does take a little bit more than a lap to get fully up to speed, Rick. And that's something these guys have to figure out on their own because, man, you can't think that the first lap's going to be the quick one here.
No, it usually takes a couple laps, especially with these trucks. It's going to take a little bit for them to get up to speed, Chris. But once they do, I mean, it's a long way around this track, especially when you're by yourself. But this sets the precedence. You know, this is where you're going to find out. Now, a lot of guys like to start at the back. A lot of guys like to be in the middle. Some crazy fools like to be up towards the front. I know I always try to qualify up towards the front here, but usually that gets me into trouble. But that's because I'm not with these caliber drivers that we have here with those official races, man. But it's going to be interesting to see how things work out tonight, find out where people want to go. I mean, we already found out that there's going to be some people starting from the pits. And sometimes that's kind of the safe way to go. As long as you can catch that draft, you're good.
Yeah, we're getting ready. I mean, he is in turns 3 and 4. He is on the high line, just like you said, Rick, trying to build up that momentum as he's getting ready to go down that really, really long front stretch, that tri-oval front stretch. Man, it is so long from the entrance of pit road to the start-finish line. And we're going to see that tonight, Rick. When the pace car comes down pit road versus when the green flag comes out, it seems like forever.
Yeah, it definitely does, Chris. I mean, that's just how it goes. I mean, this is a huge track. It's a lot of fun to drive, though. A lot of fun. But James doing a good job right now in that number 14, Chris. First time that he posted was a 55.807. We'll see what happens. We saw that he moved down a little bit here, and he's getting closer to that inside line. Right down there in that yellow line by the apron. That's where he wants to be.
Yeah, we switched over to points leader right now. Tyler Gary in the 26. Tyler, he's already moved down to that bottom line, and Tyler looking to score a, well, right now he's on the pole with a 55.770, Rick.
And that's a pretty good lap out there by yourself.
Yeah, these guys definitely going to be, I'm so excited to see the speed that these trucks produce because they're awesome. They're awesome. We got Terry Foster out there. He's running a Raiders theme. I think somebody may have forgotten to tell Terry that the Super Bowl was last weekend. Maybe. Or maybe he's that much of a Raiders fan. That's possible.
Either way, that 86 truck looks good tonight, though, Chris.
Is that Jimmy Johnson on that tailgate? I think it is.
Well, that's the GOAT of NASCAR.
There it is. Kind of a cool view here. We're going to actually see Terry cross the start-finish line. He decided to do so under the yellow line. And, you know, that makes sense. It's flat down there, so why wouldn't you? And Terry looks like he is going to be 4th so far on the speed charts as we go over to the 92. The 92, Blake Decker, really trying to get it done out there. So far, he is in 8th, looking to get a little bit better than that. We'll see if he does. Kyle Gilbert out on track in 58, actually coming down pit road. He may be done. Currently sitting in 3rd spot. Blake Decker did advance up to 2nd. Chad Oxendine has taken over the speed charts in the 29. Go on board with Paul Coleman Jr. in the 66. Not up to speed, so he must be done. Right now, 8th spot. Brian Dees in the 17, the Doritos truck. Brian Dees looking to make some speed here. Right now, it scored in 10th. We switch over. Blake Decker, like we said, third spot right now. Aaron Backover out on track in the 44. Aaron's got that 44 Chevy Silverado right now being scored 12th spot. And there's a lot of drivers out there tonight, so this could be a very, very fun race to watch. Lots of pack racing. We expect to see a couple, maybe 3 different packs form. It's usually what happens here at Talladega. On board now with Ashton Schleiss. He is in the 68 truck. So far, he's posted a speed good enough for 13th spot of 55.760.
And one thing to note too, Chris, something else that's changed that we forgot to talk about there at the beginning of the broadcast. Normally these guys have a fast repair, but that has gone away now. After ISM, you know, we've tried this before, it does work. So these guys now have to take care of their equipment if they want to go all the way. There's no more freebie. So that's what's going to be interesting to see what goes on here. We got about 2 minutes and 40 seconds left of qualifying.
I do want to take a minute and just thank everybody who's already come on out and said hi to us out in chat. We really do appreciate it. Thank you for coming to support us here at MaxSpeedTV, and more importantly, thank you for coming out and supporting the guys here at the TRJKarting.com Blazing Pedals Series. Rick, this is going to be fun, man. We only got about 2 more minutes left of qualifying, and then we're going to get it on. And I do have to bring up one thing. So far, 2 different races, 2 different winners. So congratulations to them. First time winners here. And what a very cool thing to have happen.
Oh, it definitely is, Chris. I mean, we all remember our first race that we won, and these guys, you know, making sure that these guys get noticed and everything like that, and that is just fabulous. They got their TRJKarting shirts on right now, just like me, Chris. I know it's cold over there where you're sitting right now, but man, I'm nice and toasty in my TRJKarting.com sweatshirt.
There you are, rubbing it in just like you always do. I'm warm, you're not. Haha. Well, while we were talking, Travis Brown in the 01 car, Rick, he has taken over the speed charts. So
And that's $1, my friend.
Yeah. Oh, did I say? Oh, man.
But yes, Travis Brown, that 01 man, posting a really quick qualifying time, 54.762. Chad Axeline, just so everybody knows, he did a 54.773. So definitely, Travis Brown found a little bit more extra speed out of that truck.
And Rick, with about 45 seconds to go, really quick, tonight, you got Talladega, you've got the trucks, a lot of speed. You know, there's going to be some tire stuff happening there. You got 2 sets of tires to go, basically, what, 320 miles. What kind of strategy are you employing? Are you going to be short pitting? You're going to be going till you're almost out? What do you think?
I mean, for me, honestly, Chris, if I was a driver in this league, trying to figure out what I have to do, I would try to hold up taking my tires, you know, a lot later in the race. That way, during the end, I have fresh tires to make a run. I know we're going to be seeing guys. I mean, they obviously got to come down here for fuel, get the top off that Sunoco racing fuel. So it's going to be interesting. I mean, I think it really, what's going to happen is if the big one happens or you're involved in an incident, you're probably going to come down. You're going to be repairing your truck. You might as well put 4 brand new tires on it. Try to get back out there. You have nothing to lose. But I think the front runners, I mean, if I was up towards the front, even in the middle, the back, I'm going to be saving my tires as much as I can. I'll be using that draft, saving fuel, trying to stay away from the actual front because those are the guys that are burning all the fuel. Everybody else in the draft gets to hang off the gas just a little bit to get around. But that's me. I don't know what you would do, though.
Well, I'll tell you what I would do. I would start going through the field as soon as we have a few more cars out there. Travis Brown going to be starting on the pole. We know that. And we're just going to wait for a few more to start gridding up. We're going to get this 320 lap or mile event done here. And it's going to be quick, Rick. Tonight is going to be a very quick race with the speeds that they're producing. You know, you're getting roughly 2 laps every minute. and that's without having any drafting help.
And the draft comes into play big time here, Chris. That's one thing that you do not want to lose here.
We hear them starting to put the trucks into first gear. It's starting to get very close, Rick. I think we're going to get the music up, get it ready to go, and then we're going to go through qualifying.
Sounds good. Now we have to remember the 43, the 14, the 21, the 5, the 3, the 86, 26, and 27 will be receiving EOLs. And then we also have some trucks starting from the pits tonight, 16, 76, 8, 78, 66, and 58. So that might throw off our grid just a little bit there, but we can still run through how they qualified.
Absolutely. On the pole in the 01 Toyota, it's Travis Brown. Outside pole, Chad Oxendine in the 29. Starting in third place. Let's see, starting in third place, last week's winner, Michael Cozy Jr. We've got Blake Decker starting outside second row, James Mullen starting in fifth, Ashton Schleiss sixth, Brian Dees going to be starting, well, yeah, this is not going to work out with all these movings, but we'll go through them just so you guys can see the names of all the drivers, because we want to make sure that we know who we're looking at here tonight, guys. Again, when you drop cars back, it's hard for the system to keep up with it, but we'll do what we can. A lot of cars out there tonight, Rick. It's going to be very fun to watch this one, I think.
Oh, definitely is, Chris. And, you know, having a lot of cars on this track, I mean, that's when things get dangerous, but hey, I got to give these guys props, man. They probably have more than what the actual NASCAR guys have out here on the track right now, and it is going to be a good time. Right now we have 29 trucks out there on track, getting ready to have some fun, beat and battle, and find out who's going to come out on top tonight at Talladega. Who's going to be joining the Alabama game? We'll be finding out shortly.
Travis Brown, fastest in qualifying on the pole. Now, I did talk about this already, but you watch. When the pace car comes down pit road, just start counting in your head. See how long it takes before the green flag comes out. See what kind of anticipation it takes. Travis Brown, Chad Oxendine. Well, not anymore. Travis Brown and the 92, Blake Decker. Going to be starting on the front row. Pace car is down under the yellow line. We're waiting for the green flag. It comes out right around the tri-oval. Oh, man, Rick, we're getting it ready. This is it. Talladega, 300 miles, 320 miles, 120 laps here tonight. TRJKarting.com, Blazing Pedal Series. Oh, man. Green flag is out, and that is, man, I told you, that is a long, long time to wait for a green flag, but we are going now, and Blake Decker on the outside, already with a slight advantage. He is got no help, though. The 77 on the inside helping out. That's Michael Cozy Jr. helping out Brown. And this race has begun, Rick, and we are on the backstretch for the very first time here tonight.
Yes, we are, Chris, and it is just amazing. I mean, these guys, it's a long race, man. And like you said, starting that green flag, as you're sitting there waiting for that, these guys are anticipating it, they're getting ready, they're getting antsy. But here they go, man. They are on a mission now. Right now, it looks like there's a lot of guys on that inside lane. The outside lane is going to take a little bit of time to catch up right now. Once these trucks get in line, do what they have to do, if they can get up a little bit closer, it's going to definitely help out. But right now, there's a lot of shuffling going on back there.
Seems like there's always some shuffling here at Talladega.
Now, the thing is that a lot of people have to realize that they're not on the service. Some guys like the outside lane just because they can do what they got to do. There's plenty of room in between the bottom line and the wall, the outside wall. They just go and do what they're doing. But the guys down on that inside lane, Chris, it's nerve-wracking down there. I mean, I don't know about you. I mean, usually, you know, you and I work pretty good together, so one of us is pushing the other, and it gets crazy. Like, if I'm pushing you, you know, it's hard to see around that truck or car, whatever you're driving. But right now, that's one place that I would probably want to be with that outside lane is starting to work a little bit. The 92 Blake Decker trying to catch back up and get even with the boys up front, Travis Brown. See what happens.
Yeah, it's Brown and Cozy Jr., and they are 1 and 2. Blake Decker trying to dispute that. He puts himself just ahead of Cozy, so he is on the outside. And it looks like they got a pretty decent run that time on that outside lane. Blake Decker trying to make it work on the outside. And these guys formed up 2x2. This is what we see here at Dega. It probably isn't going to change too much from 2x2. Very rarely are we going to see nose-to-tail racing here tonight, Rick.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, Chris. Right now, one of the biggest movers that I'm seeing, Dalton Kilroe in that number 24 machine, Chris, and this is what I love about Talladega. He qualified 20th here. He's sitting in 5th right now, doing about 186 miles per hour, doing what he has to do. But what a move.
Yeah, and some of that may have been the EOLs, and some of that is Dalton. We've seen Dalton before. He definitely knows how to get around these tracks, and he is proving it here again tonight as he currently being scored in 5th spot. That outside line doesn't quite have the momentum yet. It may later on, as the tires start to wear. Trucks actually may start moving up towards that middle and upper lines, so it's something to watch for, Rick. But
it is. I mean, right now they have plenty of grip, but yeah, as the race goes on, Chris, I mean, that's something that we're going to see. Again, though, it's not going to be so bad where they're not going to be able to control the truck and keep it where they want it, but it will definitely move.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. This is exactly what they're looking to do here. Start this race. Nice caution-free and nice pack racing going on. This is exactly what they wanted.
This is what it's all about, man. I mean, you know, a lot of guys say, oh, short track racing's where it's at. You know, it doesn't take any kind of, you know, anything to do a super speedway. Anybody can do it. Well, that's not true, man. I mean, these guys are concentrating. They have trucks on the inside, on the outside. They're trying to hold their line. They don't want to push in the corners. You know, there's a lot of things that these drivers are thinking about right now, Chris. And right now, we're on lap 5 of 120. They're doing everything that they need to do. The 77 there got a little bit antsy, went down below the yellow line just for a little bit, but came right back up. But again, you know, he's probably just trying to check to see where he is on the track, because all he's seeing right now is the rear trunk lid of that number 01.
Yeah, and the other thing they got to watch, Rick, and we're watching out of the right rear quarter panel of the 24 of Dalton Kilroe. These trucks swerving back and forth, and that's just from the wind. That's not input from the drivers, guys out in chat, guys and gals. That is actually the truck's aerodynamics pushing it back and forth like that, side to side. So you have to be very careful. When you do start pushing, you have to be careful that you're lined up right, or else the guy in heavy probably isn't going to like you for the rest of the night.
That's absolutely right, Chris, and that's a lot of things that a lot of people don't know, even on the service. I mean, it is tricky doing pack racing. Like you said, you know, you're moving around, you know, you're watching those temperatures sometimes, you know, as you're sitting up behind the bumper of somebody. I mean, obviously you're not getting that wind to cool down the engine and everything else. We see Ian Habiak move up onto the top there, letting the pack go. That's unfortunate for him, but, you know, it's still early in the race, man, and we've seen it many a times. I mean, you could be 2-3 laps down, you're still going to be okay, you know. I mean, something's bound to happen. But these guys doing a great job right now. And this is tough, man. I mean, I don't know about you. I mean, I've done a lot of plate racing. Obviously, it's my favorite type of racing to do. My arms get tired, man. I mean, these guys are in for the long haul, man. 120 laps, 319 point, I think it's 2 or 6 miles, man. I mean, that is a long time sitting at your simulator doing what you have to do, fighting that force feedback and having a lot of fun.
Man, these guys have been fantastic since the drop of the green flag here tonight. Lap 7 of 120, getting ready to make it lap 8 of 120. And this has been really good so far, Rick.
It has. I mean, this is one of the things with plate racing. I mean, it's not going to be super exciting. You're not going to see tons of passing and this and that. But hey, listen, like I keep saying it, and I know I sound like a broken record, but it's my favorite type of racing to do. And these guys, they know it's a long race. They're doing what they have to do. They know they have to take care of their vehicle. You got to keep, you know, that truck nice and clean. There is no patch repair. They know they can only come down for tires once. They can come down for fuel and repairs as many times as they want. But the thing about that is you also want to be working with your teammates. Now, these guys have a lot of teams. You know, we got Rebellion Racing out there, TNA Motorsports, Terminator Racing, S&M Motorsports. We got Tactically Inferior Racing. These guys, you got to work with your teammates. Go into the pits at the same time. So that's the other thing that we're going to see, that's really going to be, you know, you're not going to see a lot of lone wolves going down without talking to somebody, because you want to go out with another truck so you have somebody to draft with.
Absolutely. We're looking at the race progress board, and man, there's a couple of trucks out there up 16 spots, down 11, and that's plate racing. It happens. And at the end of it all, it'll all straighten itself out. It's going to be really good. We've got quite a few drivers that started down on pit road, or actually, what do we got here? Oh yeah, they did. They started down pit road, so we're not thinking about that right now. But there is a host of them, including the 58, Kyle Gilbert, Paul Coleman Jr., William Locklear leading a pack of 4 or 5, depending on if it looks like Tyler Frey there was blinking. So we've already separated out into packs here tonight, Rick, and up front is the pack we're keeping an eye on, because it's Travis Brown under the gun from Dalton Kilroe. Kilroe on the outside actually has a little bit of a nose ahead. Dalton Kilroe looking to try and break the barrier on the outside lane. Can it be done? We haven't seen it yet. Kilroe looking to try and get to the front, and he has done it. He actually led that last lap, Rick, so we have had a different leader here tonight.
And that all goes to, I mean, there's a lot of guys on that inside lane, but that outside lane's really starting to work together, Chris, and they're catching the side draft. They're drafting, you know, trying to push Dalton Kilroe up there. He was able to do it, but as we see now, he fell back a little bit. And that's what we're going to see. If a couple more trucks move up into that outside lane, give them a little bit of help, they're definitely going to be putting some pressure on right now. The 01 Travis Brown right back into the lead, being helped out by the 77. You got 44, Aaron Bach over, Ashton Slice is there. These guys are having a good time, man. I kind of wish I was driving right now.
Big wiggle out of the, I believe that's the 7 truck. That was Aaron Ramon. And again, pretty normal to see that here. A lot of speed. Usually takes a little bit of the air off from that rear spoiler. The rear of it just kind of squirts out, just like it did right there. Nothing big, but something to pay attention to, especially if you're the driver right behind. These guys doing a fantastic job, leaving just enough room. But at the same time, eventually, it's got to be, you got to push a little bit, right?
You definitely got to push. You just want to be smart about it. You want to try not to do it into the corners too much, because that's where the danger happens. I mean, you got a nice long back stretch, you got a nice long dog leg here in the front stretch, doing what you have to do. Now's the time to be pushing just a little bit. And one thing I was watching, it's kind of hard to see what the 01's doing there, Chris, but I was watching Dalton Kilroe on the 24, who has taken over the lead here. He was actually being pushed so fast. So normal speed around here in a pack is around 186, 187, somewhere around there. Dalton Kilroe was able to hit 193 in that truck as he was being pushed up through, and now he's hanging out now. He's way up there, Chris. That's going to allow the number 7, Aaron Ramon, like you said. That's not going to fare good for the 24, but the 7 looks like he's going to move up and give him a little bit of help there.
Yeah, pretty cool move by the 7 there. The 24 got, I don't know if he got tight or what, but ended up into the 3rd lane. The 7 moved up with him so that somebody could pick up the draft along with him. So a pretty cool move out of the truck there.
That just shows the amount of respect that these guys have for each other out in the track race. I mean, he could have just left Dalton Kilroe out there to hang, and Dalton would have fallen back. I mean, he did fall back quite a bit there, but he's now on the inside lane. The 7 moved down. That was just some perfect racing right there.
And it's like these guys want me to be a liar or something. I said there wasn't going to be a lot of nose-to-tail racing, Rick. Look at the inside line. Unbelievable. You have a couple of trucks on the outside in that first group. Everybody else nose to tail on the inside line, and the 14 and 29 could be in trouble here, Rick.
Yeah, they definitely can, Chris. I mean, unless a couple other trucks move up there to help them, they're going to start falling back a little bit, but they are definitely dealing with a freight train right now.
Take a look from the grandstands. These trucks moving, and you see just ahead of that front pack, this is kind of what I was looking at for. Just ahead of that front pack, you have another pack of trucks. So these guys up front could be starting to catch another draft, and if that's the case, oh boy, they're going to pick up even more speed, Rick.
Yep, they definitely will, Chris, and that's going to be something that we're going to be watching here as they come around to that. I mean, it's going to be a little while there out there in the middle of the dog leg right now, or just coming into the dog leg actually, down by pit road, and the front pack is just hitting that spot now. So, but that pack of trucks, it's not a bad thing, because what could happen, Chris, and we've seen it multiple times. I mean, obviously you don't want to race the leaders too hard. You want to do what you have to do, but these guys are still in it for the race. So it's going to be interesting to see if they're just going to hang out there and be pushed by that front pack, or if they're going to move over, go up onto the high lane and let these guys pass.
On board the 77 last race. It wasn't last week, it was 2 weeks ago. Michael Cozy Jr., the race winner. We are on board with the 77 right now, as he is being scored in second spot right now. He does have the 14 of James Mullins on his outside. Mullins starting to fall back. Aaron Bach over to the inside of the 14 now. So Bach over in that inside line, getting a little bit of momentum, a little bit of speed. The 14 and the 29 able to charge back. Ooh, Bach over down below that yellow line, and that's something we haven't talked about, Rick, but that is a big, big no-no. You definitely don't want to get below that yellow line.
Nope, that is definitely the danger zone. I mean, with the amount of banking on this track, Chris, all the marbles from all the rubber on the tires that are coming off, they all slide down that way. It is very, very slippery below that yellow line. Bachover, as we saw there, he got down there, he got a little bit wiggly. He was able to bring it up, which was some good driving right there, because not a lot of people can do that. But yeah, that is definitely the danger zone, Chris. You do not want to put your tires down below that yellow line.
Look how fast this lead group is starting to catch that group just in front of them, and it's not that the guys in front of them are going so much slower. It's the draft. The draft is helping. It's pulling this lead pack to them. High-speed chess match here. And I don't think we actually said it, Rick, but a fuel run here, about 37 to 40 laps is what we were told before the race. I don't know if that was single truck or if you're doing 200 or 190 miles an hour. So we're going to have to keep an eye on pit road, but you see this stack of trucks that was kind of getting caught by this front group. They all moved to the upper lane, making way for the leaders. The leaders all now nose to tail. So very patient driving going on out there. And they should be. It's only lap 17 of 120.
And that was actually a smart move by those guys. You know, they'll be able to hang on to the draft back there, Chris. But one thing that was really cool to see is those three Monster Energy trucks right there. We got the blue one, Travis McChesney. You got the 4 of Noah Van Hoot, and the 78 of William Locklear. That looks pretty cool, man, with them all running together. Those are some good-looking trucks out there, but that's what they're doing now. They're starting to move down a little bit. They're going to catch the draft, the tail end of this pack, and do what they have to do.
Yeah, so we've got a whole host of trucks that are down a lap now. Quick math. 5 in that pack down. Ian Habiuk, unfortunately, looks like he's down 2. Jeremy Walker doesn't look like he actually started this race in the 88, Rick.
No, he's definitely showing 17 laps down, now 18 laps down, Chris. Not exactly sure what happened with the number 88. He did qualify 16th, took the start at that position.
Well, I'm being asked if we have any in-car cams, Rick, and the answer to that is yes. Let's go on board right now. Your race leader, Travis Brown. We're on the gyro cam. We're going to see exactly that banking that we were talking about, Rick, because it is huge here at Talladega. Heading into turns 3 and 4. Look at the banking there. That truck firmly planted into the asphalt. heading through turns 3 and 4, getting ready to come out onto the tri-oval. Travis Brown heading down what would be the tri-oval. Pretty soon will be to the start-finish line. We're going to take a full lap here with your race leader, Travis Brown, in the gyro cam.
And one thing to note, Chris, I mean, when we started out in the service, you know, we're running single monitors. You really couldn't really see a lot of the banking, like you didn't know, you know, like you knew that you were on the banking, but it wasn't anything that you could really differentiate. Obviously, there's some settings in iRacing that you can do that your head moves a little bit, but let me tell you, man, when I got into VR, you notice every single bit of that, and it's just amazing.
It is awesome. It's awesome to watch that banking, and you know these trucks are absolutely settling right into the track. Absolutely no space between the fender skirting and the track itself. Travis Brown almost done with that lap on the in-car cam. Laps here really ticking off quickly.
Yeah, they definitely are, Chris. I mean, we still have a long race to go, but they're definitely ticking off pretty quickly, and these guys are probably screaming for a pit stop, but we still have a few laps to go before we even have to think about that.
Well, I'll tell you something else. Just for fun, I went back into somebody a little further out in the pack. Travis Brown, his windshield clean. Not a speck on it. He's been leading most of the race. I'm on board now, Kyle Krasinski, and it is just the opposite. Having a hard time seeing out of that front windshield ridge. So that's something these guys are definitely going to have done. When they come down for that tank of fuel, it's, can you please wash my windshield? I can't see a darn thing out here.
No, and that's one thing that gets kind of, I don't really want to say annoying, but it gets in the driver's view, and it actually does bother these guys while they're racing, especially if they're in VR. But it doesn't matter because their screen is just black, and it's kind of cool. I mean, iRacing does a really good job with the visuals, you know, with this stuff. And but yeah, definitely that's one thing that I would be telling my crew chief: make sure that I get a tear off when I come down.
Really good stuff there. We've got a couple of different cameras here tonight. We can't wait to bring them all to you. But man, that was awesome. I love going in car on a track like Dega just to see that banking. It really brings home just how steep these tracks are and why they're able to get the speeds that they are, Rick, because that banking just kind of sets them there, and where are you going to go?
Exactly. I mean, that was one thing that I noticed, Chris. I mean, when you watch this stuff on TV, I mean, yeah, you can kind of see the banking, you know, but you don't really get the full view of it. Now, a couple years ago when I went down to Daytona, I definitely, when we went to the track, I mean, that was one thing that we did. I mean, that 33-degree banking that we were on, man, it was just amazing to sit there and think of how these cars and these trucks and everything can run on that thing. You would think that they would just slide down and do what they had to do, but you're absolutely right. They get a lot of momentum pushed off of that corner, and they do what they want to do.
Yeah, it's really cool, and you know, I've been seen the same thing. The other thing that in person, what you look at is you go, how the heck do these guys go 3-car, 3-truck wide and not crash? And sometimes it's 4. Nah, I don't have the guts to do it. Listen, I'm happy doing 65 on the interstate, and after that, no thank you. But these guys, pretty special. And of course, we're getting ready for the real NASCAR season to start, so this is perfect timing right here. We're getting it on here tonight at Talladega, lap 24 of 120. Lots of cool things going on. Start, green flag all the way through here so far, and man, it's been a lot of fun. But look at these guys. They're trying to prove me to be a liar. They're single file heading around this big 2.5 plus mile track. No issues, none.
I think we should do a crank it up, bro.
You want to do one? I think we can. We've got that. We've got that ability. Ladies and gentlemen, our first crank it up of the night. Awesome speed right there out of these trucks. Man, they were flying. What a cool view to see. And the other thing cool to see, we are going back to 2x2 racing. This is pretty awesome. James Mullen on the outside in the 14, looking to put a challenge to the 01 of Travis Brown. He's got the 58 behind him. Is that the 58? Yeah, it is. It's the 58 behind him, trying to push him to the front. Travis Brown, meanwhile, has Michael Cozy Jr. on the inside, trying to help him stay up front. Travis Brown has led 26 laps here tonight so far at Talladega. James Mullins in the 14, looking to be one of the very few drivers who have led a lap here tonight. Mullins pushing hard, and he's got the 58. That's Kyle Gilbert behind him, trying to help him out. Behind Gilbert, the 16 truck. That's Ian Habia trying to get it done in the 16. And so far, Ian not having quite the night that he was looking to have. 2 laps down right now, but it's still very early on in this race. James Mullen in the 14, really getting a good run. Going into the corner, is it going to be enough to go up front? Doesn't look like it. Travis Brown able to stay there by about a truck length. Michael Cozy Jr. holding on tight in that second spot. Well, I guess right now he's in third, but the 77 doing everything he needs to do. You see him right there, tapping that rear bumper of the 01, trying to get a little bit more speed out of that 01. 2 trucks definitely faster than one. Kyle Gilbert on the outside, trying to do the same thing for James Mullen. So these guys really getting it on right now, and it's been a lot of fun to watch. Up front, still the battle between the 01 and the 14. And I think we're going to go here, just take a look. See how far back they are, 2x2. And Mullins right now does have the slight advantage, but the inside line trying to pick it back up. Very cool right there. You see it. These guys trading spots back and forth. Michael Cozy pokes a nose out, tries to cool down his truck. The James Mullins is really pushing hard. He wants to get up front.
That's one thing that these guys have to worry about, Chris. They have to constantly have awareness of where the vehicle on the inside or the outside is of them, who's helping them push. They also have to keep an eye on those gauges, because these trucks will start to overheat, and that's where you see a lot of guys, they'll maybe move up like a half a lane just to get some air into that grill, just to cool down the truck and do what they have to do. But they don't want to do it for too long, because that's where the danger zone kind of happens, where if you're not square when you're bumping these trucks, you're going to send somebody for a tailspin.
Back to the right rear suspension of the 01 of Travis Brown, and you see James Mullins starting to get a run again to the outside. Mullins right now by an inch has the lead, and then Travis Brown fighting back on the inside. These guys just swapping back and forth. This is excellent racing right here.
And that's the fun of pack racing, Chris. I mean, you just never know what's going to happen. I mean, the guy who starts out in front may not be there for the whole race. You know, they might move back, but if they move back, they don't have to worry about it, because you can work that draft, do what you have to do, and get back into position. But right now, that 01's doing a good job. But it looks like right there, the 14, Chris, he was able to lead that lap. That's actually a really good-looking truck, too, Chris.
Yeah, that's the second lap he's led, so Mullins definitely getting it done. And on the outside, of course, now Brown with a huge jump. The inside lane all of a sudden found speed. And look at the jump he got on that inside lane. Michael Cozy right behind him. And I saw earlier in the chat land that they may be teammates, Rick.
Just checking here real quick to see if we can confirm that. A couple of guys are not into TeamSpeak tonight, but you might be right, Chris. And here, even if somebody is not on your team, you want to work with that person. You know, in real NASCAR, those guys are having their spotter go over to the other car's spotter, saying, hey, listen, we want to work with you. Let's work together, do what we have to do, try to get up front, and have some fun. And you know, right now, I mean, this is one of the biggest tracks that these guys are going to be using that team. I mean, you do it every year, as you see right there, the 77, Chris, Michael Cozy Jr., really get on that back bumper on that number 01, saying, hey, listen, I'm going to try to help you out. We're going to try to keep those guys on the outside back there. And they do. They get a really good push. Now, if Aaron Bach over in that 44 machine was able to get up between them, they could really go for a good time. And it is confirmed they are teammates and they are best friends, Chris.
That definitely works, and it helps out on track. You're right. You have to have somebody to race with at a restrictor plate track such as Talladega. It helps when it's your friend.
Oh, it definitely does. I mean, when you and I race these things, Chris, and we work together, I mean, that's one thing that's nice. I mean, we constantly race with each other, so we know how each other races. We know what we can do and how the other person is going to react. So right now, that is definitely those two guys. They want to stay together.
Lap 35 of 120 must be getting very close to pit stops. 19 trucks out there have not come down pit road yet. It's like, well, those are the trucks that started down pit road, so we're not going to count them. But a lot of trucks out there at this point going, yeah, I could probably use some fuel. And you know what happens when you start getting rid of all your fuel in these things, Rick? They start wanting to walk out on the rear of them because there's just not a lot of weight back there. And you see the 14 now starting to back away, trying to maybe get a run. He's got Kyle Gilbert right behind him, and I know for a fact Gilbert knows how to push a vehicle around a super speedway. So it may be strategy trying to just get that momentum back. And we'll see if the two cars up top, and look behind them too. It's got Ian Habiak back there. So Ian trying to get a lap back the old-fashioned way.
Well, Ian's doing a good job there, working with these guys, knowing what you have to do, just like you said, trying to get back there the old-fashioned way, Chris. And that number 16 TRJ Toyota doing just that right now.
Yeah, these guys are really pouring it on here tonight. Lap 37 of 120, no cautions so far, and we know for a fact that pit stops are right around the corner. Pretty cool. We've got fans, supporters. We got fans and supporters. Man, I love these guys. You know, a couple weeks ago was a rough race, and I think everybody acknowledges that. They've made some changes, having live admins now, Ryan Walsh and Mark up in the booth watching the race, making sure everything runs smooth. And you know you care when you make a move like that, when you literally give up racing in order to make sure that the racing is good. So my hat's off to them for making that move to make sure that this league is able to move forward. And I think what they'll find is eventually they'll be able to get back on track.
You know, 2 weeks ago at ISM Raceway, Phoenix, whatever you want to call it, Chris, it was a rough race. You also have to remember, that is a very rough track, too. I mean, there's so many, when those guys are using that corner going into that one dog leg where they just, you know, some guys go way down into below the apron. Oh, it looks like we have some guys coming down pit road, Chris.
Yeah, pit stops are starting to happen as the race leader, Brown, on the binders as he is down pit road, and he surrenders the lead to James Mullins. Mullins stays out there, and I think what we'll find is they're probably going to separate themselves by a lap, maybe 2 laps, Rick. So pit strategy is starting to happen right now.
It definitely is, Chris. And one thing that is kind of cool to see is you got Chad Oxide coming in. Cozy came, or was that Cozy? Yep, Cozy came in. And I'm trying to find out who that Chad Oxide and Brown came in. So these guys are going to be working together, doing what they have to do to try to catch back up to that draft. Now, it's going to take a little while. I mean, you got a bunch of trucks working, but they're going to start coming in for fuel too. So it's going to be interesting how this shakes out.
Oh, Mullins peels. Oh, we got one into the wall. Trying to get down pit road. It's really squirrely. The 38 goes up on track trying to come down pit road. Oh, boy. Trying to carry a little too much speed. The 38 up on track. I think he's going to be okay. And he is, yeah, he hit the tow button very quickly. Good job for Kyle Krasinski to hit that tow button, come down pit road. Not what he was looking to do. But I'll tell you, you're carrying so much speed here and then you haven't used those brakes in, well, since, face it, let's practice, qualifying maybe?
Maybe,
exactly. All of a sudden, you're, what, 90 miles in trying to figure out if you can stop your truck, and sometimes they don't want to.
No, and I mean, you got to realize, too, these guys are doing 180 plus miles per hour, and they're coming down the pit road where the speed limit's 55. So you really have to get on those brakes and do what you have to do.
Yeah, Ian Habiak almost gets into the wall doing the exact same thing. 44, Aaron Bockover coming down pit road, giving up the lead. Bockover was able to lead that last lap, so put him down as having led one. James Mullins being scored in second. I believe he's going to be being scored first the next time he crosses the start-finish line, depending on when Aaron is able to be done with his service. So pit stops have certainly changed things up a little bit here. As you see on the outside, Michael Cozy Jr. looking for the lead, and Cozy's going to have it. Ashton Schleiss right behind him pushing along. Chad Oxendine with those two trucks, making it 3. And boy, did he squeeze in there. That was tight. Chad Oxendine really just threw it in there, trying to hold on to the top 2 trucks, and he did. Man, oh man, Mullins must be like, how, where, I can't. Ian Habiak coming back out on track after his service was done. Looks like everybody now has had their first service of this race. Race leader, Michael Cozy Jr. in the 77. So pit stops were exciting. Getting down pit road was exciting. And we may have a challenge for the lead as Chad Oxendine hopped out to the outside. He's got the 14 of James Mullins with him. It is 2 trucks versus 3 trucks until the 92 of Blake Decker can try and catch one of those rows. Right now, the 3 trucks have an advantage on the inside. Michael Cozy Jr., Ashton Schleiss on the inside. Chad Oxendine, James Mullins. Oh, actually, yeah, James Mullins is still on the outside there. And they've got the 58. That's Kyle Gilbert on the inside, trying to help out that inside line.
And I know we talk about this every race, Chris, but man, these paint jobs, they're just beautiful.
Yeah, they really are. So Michael Cozy spent most of the first run behind teammate Travis Brown, who led 33 laps of that first stint, Rick. And now Cozy Jr. up front with the 68 Ashton Schleiss right behind him.
Travis Brown has a little bit of time to make up there, Chris. He is currently sitting in 12th position. I'm sure he's going to be doing everything that he possibly can to get back up there and try to help out his teammate.
Skittles wanting to crank it up. We've done one. We're definitely going to do another one here. How can you not do crank it ups at Talladega? I mean, come on. This track is built for that.
It definitely is, Chris. I mean, these trucks sound good anyway, but once you get them out here, man, it is just fabulous.
Michael Cozy Jr. up front. Basically everybody in the front group of this race, single file now, going around a one-lap truck. It's Cozy, Schleiss, and Oxendine, top 3. Then you've got Mullins, Decker, and Kilroe. Tyler Dugan, Sam Baumgarten, Brian Dees, Aaron Ramon making up the top 10 here, Rick. And there's some names there that we normally see towards the front looking to try and get there.
You're absolutely right, Chris, and that's when things are going to get interesting. I mean, we have a few more pit stops that are obviously going to be happening as this race goes on, so things are going to get mixed up again. But yeah, I mean, there's some people out here that, you know, week in and week out, they are sitting here. I mean, we noticed it with the K&M, we noticed it when they brought over the trucks, which has been amazing. And I think we're in for a really good show.
Taking a look at a Goodyear blimp, watching these guys go around this track. And we're going to watch for a couple of things here. First of all, we're going to try and see how close they get back bumper to front bumper, to back bumper to front bumper. And we're also going to watch for how much wiggle we're seeing out of these trucks, how much side to side. And again, that's all due to how much air you're seeing, or how much air the truck is feeling, rather. And we're seeing it right there. You know, these guys are doing a fantastic job. And a lot of, I don't believe anybody took tires on that last pit stop. So, just absolutely moving here. This is awesome.
These drivers doing a heck of a job holding their line, doing what they have to do. I mean, green flag pit stops we saw a couple incidents there happen. That's going to happen. I mean, we talked about it. You know, you haven't really used the brake at all. You know, you're probably actually relaxing your left foot a little bit more than normal. And when you come down, you're doing 187 miles per hour, and then all of a sudden you're going to drop down to 55. That's when things are going to happen. Obviously, it's easier to do when you're under caution because the trucks and everything are slowing down. But when you're in race doing green flag pit stops, that is just bound to happen. But right now, Chris, during the race, these guys are doing a fantastic job doing what they have to do. Right now, we kind of see that inside lane. Everybody kind of just doing that. There's really not much going on the outside right now.
No, we saw Blake Decker in the 92 pop out just to see if he'd have any help. Nobody went with him, and he fell back in the line. Now he goes out again. The 24, that is Dalton Kilrow. Looks like he may be willing to do it, then sneaks back down to the inside line, back out to just about a half a lane up. So Kilrow trying to figure out if he wants to go right now. Decker desperately seeking a dance partner here at Talladega. And look at the gap now between James Mullins in the 14 and the 92 of Blake Decker. Because he got out of line, he was losing a little bit of the draft. Now, of course, that's going to close up pretty quick here, but that just goes to show when you're in a straight line how much faster your trucks are.
And fast they are, but that's one thing that's very tough, Chris. I mean, to be that one driver that's going to go out to the outside lane when everybody's just nose to tail on the inside, kicking off the laps, doing what they have to do. You got to have somebody to go with you, because if you go out there by yourself, you're just going to fall further back into the pack.
Yeah, definitely something to watch out for. But also, it's a good way to kind of test yourself. You gotta make. You can't do what the guy in front of you is doing all the time and expect to win. So you have to figure out something different. And maybe it is just putting yourself out there to see if anybody will go with you. Maybe that will be the move of the race.
No, you're absolutely right, Chris. I mean, but that's the thing that you have to do. You have to see, and I mean, we just saw it. You know, a couple guys moved up, they didn't get the help, so they moved back down into that inside lane. It's bound to happen, though, especially as these trucks get really close together. We see the 24, Dalton Kilrow, he's starting to catch up to the 92 Blake Decker right now, doing what he has to do. And it looks like the 14 truck trying to look on the outside there.
Yeah, Mullins no stranger to that outside line, and he may be looking for one guy who definitely, every once in a while, he sticks his just the right fender out just a little bit. That 29 Goodwrench Chevrolet truck of Chad Oxendine. Now the 58 truck, he is a lap down. So Kyle Gilbert, he's up there, and he's got plenty of speed. But right now, he is one lap down. He is the first truck a lap down. So if there is a caution, he would benefit. And obviously, he's got speed. He's been up front with these guys a lot. I mean, he's been a front runner.
Well, it makes you wonder, Chris. I mean, he's driving that 29 Goodwrench Chevrolet right now, and it's the paint scheme that we all know that Kevin Harvick took over from Dale Earnhardt there after the unfortunate happened there. But it makes you kind of wonder, is Oxendine seeing the wind out there?
He's definitely going to need a little bit more help, as when they hit the corners, he loses a little bit of speed there. And he's got Mullins right behind him. And again, Mullins has led a few laps here, so he knows how to get around this track. I think if he could just close that gap between him and Oxendine just a little bit, they'd find a little bit of speed. And they've got Blake Decker right behind him. So you've got 3 trucks there that are pretty darn quick. And, well, hell, we'll throw one more in. We've got Dalton Kilroe behind them. Kilroe's just kind of hanging out, almost allowing that gap to happen between Decker and himself. So, and sometimes you see that gap happen right before they start getting a little momentum on their own. And so watch for Dalton Kilroe possibly to try and make a move.
I just got an update from Race Control, Chris, on that last pit stop. It looks like truck number 7, 50, and 78 took their tires on that pit stop. So those guys are on fresh tires right now.
Okay, well, that's something to watch for as this race progresses. We are on lap 52 of 120, about 8 laps away from halfway. Michael Cozy Jr., the race leader, since the last pit stop, he came out, was able to get around the leader, and hasn't really looked back since. Although, he has to look back because that's where all the cars are, or excuse me, trucks. There's a dollar. And right behind him, that really nice looking, I love that paint job, man. Ashton Schleiss in the 68, doing a great job. Then they've got the lap down truck. That's the 58 of Kyle Gilbert. That is the first truck, 1 lap down. So Kyle trying to figure out a way to get either around these trucks or maybe have a caution so that he can get back on the lead lap. Third place truck, the 29, Chad Oxendine. The 14 of James Mullen running in 4th. Then you have Blake Decker in the 92, rounding out the top 5. Dalton Kilroe in the 24. He's running in 6th spot right now. Tyler Dugan in the 19. He's running 7th spot. Travis Brown led a bunch of laps early on in this one. He is mired back in 8th spot, but look for him to try and get back to the front. He's got the 26 just in front of him, and that is Tyler Gary, your points leader right now. So Tyler really needing to figure out how to get going. Then you've got 44 truck of Aaron Bockover. He's running in 9th, and Jeff Hartline in the 97. He's running in 10th spot. Terry Foster, Sam Baumgarten, Brian Dees, Aaron Ramon, and Corey Sherman rounding out your top 15 right.
Yeah, and then we got Spencer Preet in the number 27 sitting in 16th. Kyle Gilbert, who is in with that lead pack right now, sitting in 17th position. Marshall Newton in the 76 and 18th. Chris Williams in the 50 sitting 19th. Tyler Gary, we just talked about him in the 26. He's sitting in 20th. Paul Coleman Jr. in the 66, 21st. Taylor Frey in the 41 sitting in 22nd. William Locklear in the 78, 23rd. Travis McChesney, 8. We haven't talked much about him tonight. He's sitting in 24th right now. Looks like Ian Habiak in the 16. Just went dark on me there, so I'm not sure. Noah Van Hoot, 26. These guys doing what they have to do.
Yeah, rounding out the trucks running right now. The 38 truck, Kyle Krasinski in 27th. We've got 3 vehicles off the track. One of them doesn't count. He's Ryan, and he's up actually adminning the race along with Mark, so he don't count. But Jamie Walker, Ty Morosco. Jamie Walker never took the green flag. Ty Morosco, 17 laps ago, decided to make this the end of the night for him. And that is a rundown of the field as we're on lap 55 of 120. Chad Oxendine to the outside, and he's got James Mullins with him. So Oxendine trying to make a move to the outside, and as they do that, it's pretty important. Look at the gap on the inside. It just closes up. So now these guys are kind of committed. They're committed to the outside unless they can find a gap back in, and that's tough to do.
It definitely is. I don't think Blake Decker in the 92 machine is going to make any room. You got the 24 sitting there also doing what he has to do, trying to figure that out. That's Dalton Kilroe sitting there. So they're kind of just hung out there, Chris. But one interesting to note there, you talked about Travis Brown in that 01 sitting in 8th position, which he's still currently in right now. But earlier I talked to you about that. He was sitting in 12th, so he is on his way back up towards the front, trying to get up there with his teammate to help him out.
Yeah, teammate Michael Cozy Jr. now has led 16 laps of this one, but on the outside, and it is gaining traction. Chad Oxnine in the 29 and James Mullins really starting to push that outside line, and they're all by themselves doing it. If they had a little bit more help, I think that outside line's getting primed, ready to go.
I'm waiting to see the 92 or the 24, Chris, to move up there and try to help them out a little bit. I mean, there is quite the gap there, and I think if they were able to do that, they would definitely cut down those cars. The 77, the 68, the 58 would be working together, but with 4 trucks trying to do what they had to do, I definitely think Chad Oxnine will be able to get up to the front.
Well, we've seen Chad before. He usually has quite a bit of speed. He's had some bad luck, so hopefully tonight is his night to have a very good finish. Ashton Slice also looking to have a very good finish in that 68, currently running in second, make it third as Oxendine gets a run on the outside.
I want to take a quick minute and thank everybody out there in MaxSpeedTV land for hanging out with Chris and I here on this Sunday night here on MaxSpeedTV, as we're bringing all the awesome action here from Talladega with the Blazing Pedals TRJKarting.com truck series. We're having a blast. If you haven't yet, hit that red subscribe button, the little bell notification to the right of that. You'll be notified whenever MaxSpeedTV goes live. It's pretty much every night of the week we have some kind of action on the track. But we definitely thank you for coming out here to hang out with us. And Chris, I also want to bring up Ryan Wash, who, as you said, as we talked about earlier, him and Mark have sat out, and they want to talk about a few things. So if you don't mind, I'm going to bring up Ryan.
Oh, well, let's do it.
Hey Ryan, you got Rick and Chris up here in the booth. You got a copy, buddy?
Yeah, I got a copy.
Hey man, so you know you did what you feel is right, is sitting out and doing some live adminning, and I guess there is some payouts that you guys want to talk about. You want to give the fans and the drivers a little knowledge on that?
Yeah, so the drivers actually don't know about this yet because we wanted to keep everybody a little calm for this race. But essentially for all of our tire races, which we're going to have 4 throughout the season, there will be payouts for them, and this is our first one. So first place is going to get $15, second place will get $10, and third place will get $5. And then when you guys are going to pick save or move of the race or something like that, and then they will also get $5. So we're paying out $35 to people to drivers this race, as well as 3 other races throughout the season.
Well, excellent, man. That is awesome that you guys are doing that, and I'm sure the drivers are going to love it. So far tonight, we're on lap 60 at 120, so we are about halfway through this race, man. Have you been having fun admitting?
Yes, we've been having a lot of fun. Mark and I are down there, joking around a little bit, listening to these guys. They're communicating well. This is a big change from 2 weeks ago. There's, people are being amiable. They're communicating. They're letting people in. It's very friendly out there right now. It's been good racing so far, and hopefully it'll finish that way.
Oh, I'm sure it will, man. These guys are putting on a heck of a show. You should definitely be proud of that. And why don't you talk a little bit about your Friday night league that you have?
Yeah, so our Friday night league is kind of our entry league per se. It's run by James Hatcher, one of the other admins in our group. They'll run the same schedule that we do. So they ran, Friday they did 120 laps at Dega. Basically the only difference is it's a free league. It's not broadcasted, but essentially what it is kind of like a training league where team owners in the A League here can kind of look at them and scout them, and they can bring them up and give them a seat here. And it's just kind of some of the Sunday League guys go down there and help them out. It's a good place to learn and all that. Yeah.
And basically the easiest way for folks to find that is, hold on, let me take care of Chris. We got some good payouts. We got some good stuff going on, having fun. Right now, that 77 is still sitting in number 1. Ashton Slice doing what he has to do. Right now, it looks like Chad Oxidine and the number 14, James Mullins, decided to go back down into that inside lane, Chris, doing what they had to do. They weren't able to make quite of a run. They didn't get much help down there, so they're just doing what they have to do now.
Yeah, it's been pretty good so far. 63 laps of 120 completed. Michael Cozy Jr. up front. Ashton Slice and Chad Oxenine, your top 3. Mullins, Decker, Kilroe, Dugan, Brown, Bockover, and Hartline rounding out your top 10, Rick. And this one's been pretty solid so far. We're going to go ahead and get ready for one more, I think. Crank it up here tonight. These guys deserve it.
Oh, they definitely do, and it's going to be a good time.
Man, cranking it up on a Sunday night. Absolutely love it. Lap 66 of 120, and I understand there was a little technical difficulty there, Rick, while you were talking. If you want to just go ahead and cover some of that.
Yeah, when I had Ryan up here, we had a little bit of issue there with the mic, and it didn't come through. But these guys, again, we were just emphasizing, if you guys out there, or anybody watching this after the broadcast is done, and you want to race with these guys, Friday night they have an entry league, the Blazing Pedals Entry League. You can find it on iRacing. It is owned by Mark Arthur. You can get a hold of him and sign up for that. And basically what that is, it's just a kind of a training ground for the premier Sunday night TRJKarting.com truck series. They run the same tracks that these guys do on Sundays, the same length and everything. The only thing is it's not broadcasted. But once you want to get into that Premier League, get into that entry league, show them that you can drive cleanly, respectfully, have fun, and you never know, you might be invited to race with these guys.
Yeah, this is where you want to end up. This is where the cream is. If you want to do that analogy, the cream rises to the top. Well, the top is Sunday night here at Blazing Pedals, the TRJKarting.com Blazing Pedals series. Again, brought to you here on MaxSpeedTV, guys, and we can't thank you enough for spending your Sunday night here with Rick and I and the guys here at Blazing Pedals. Do make sure you check out TRJKarting.com. Even if you're not into karting, support them by maybe ordering a sweatshirt or some gloves or something. You don't even have to be racing to support them. That's awesome.
And one cool thing about them, Chris, is and it's something that's kind of close to our hearts, yours and my hearts, is they also do a thing that's called Race for a Cure, and it's to support autism. I bought a pair of autism racing gloves. All that proceeds goes to the foundation to help people, kids mostly, with autism. So that's a fabulous thing. They have Racing for a Cure t-shirts. I can tell you right now, as I'm wearing mine, my TRJKarting.com sweatshirt, beautifully made stuff, and wicked cheap. But I mean, if you are into dirt karting, Tim Habiuk, he will ship that stuff out to you. And let me tell you, when I ordered my stuff that Monday, because I ordered it on a Sunday night here, that Monday he had it all set, ready to go. It was a federal holiday, so United States Postal Service, there we go, wasn't even open, but he had my package there from North Carolina to Vermont. It took no time to get up here, man. Everything was packed beautifully. So definitely go over and support Tim Habiuk. That's Ian's dad, who drives the number 16. And just get some great stuff, man. I mean, they got a lot of stuff.
Yeah, and every little bit goes to supporting the title sponsor of this series. And man, it would be awesome if you guys wanted to do something like that. And Rick, you said the quality of the sweatshirt was above par, so why not go out and grab yourself a sweatshirt? It's been awful cold in the United States this year so far.
It definitely has, and that's one way to stay warm, Chris. I mean, I use mine just for at home this spring as it gets out there. I mean, it is kind of a lightweight shirt. I mean, they are down in North Carolina, so their temperatures aren't, northeast or the Midwest type stuff. But definitely keep you warm. It is comfortable. Everything just fits great. It is well-made stuff. I'm definitely going to be ordering a couple more T-shirts and stuff like that just to have them. And I know you will too eventually.
Yeah, the question's asked. Where do I go? TRJKarting with a K. TRJKarting.com. Go check them out, guys, and support them because they support us and a great cause too. So get on out there and do it, all right? And speaking of doing it right now, Michael Cozy Jr. has been doing it since this stint has started. He's been out front, and he's led now 31 laps. Teammate Brown has led 33, so he's getting very close to meeting his teammate on laps led, Rick.
Yeah, definitely, Chris. I mean, Cozy Jr., he was, sitting there doing what he had to do. He had a good pit stop. He was able to get back out. He's been out in front, like you said, now for 32 laps, doing what he has to do. He started third tonight, so he only had a couple of spots to go, but I know he is happy. He's the winner of 2 weeks ago at ISM, looking to make his second win here tonight at the Blazing Pedals TRJKarting.com series. I think he's going to be able to get it done, man. I mean, we definitely have another pit stop coming in at some point soon, within the next 8 laps or so, I would think.
Yeah, it's kind of what I'm thinking. 8. You might be able to stretch 9. It'll depend on when you came down pit road the first time. Only a lap separated most of the field, though. So it'll be 8 or 9 laps from now, and they should be coming down pit road. And hopefully they give themselves a little bit more room this time. There was a couple of trucks out there that had trouble coming down pit road, Rick. They hit their brakes, and nobody was home.
No, and that's one thing that these guys, I'm sure they're mentally thinking about. I mean, they've already gone through at least one round of pit stop. We have a couple other trucks out there that have made 2 and 3 pit stops so far tonight. But yeah, that's definitely something that these guys are definitely thinking about. Hey, listen, I got to make sure that I talk with my teammate, I get to where I want to go, and go down at the same time. But then you also got to remember, going from 187 plus miles per hour down to 55, that's where the real fun starts.
Yeah. Definitely have to be very cautious about using those brakes. And again, so far you've been mostly full throttle around this track for this entire race. Now you got off from it obviously to come down pit road. Sometimes you let off from the throttle just a little bit, or you may drag your brakes depending on your style, getting around the corner so that you're not getting into the truck in front of you. But for the most part, it's full throttle all the time, non-stop. And yeah, it's something just to kind of think about it for a second before you come down pit road, because the last thing you want to do is ruin a great race by hitting that inside wall.
I mean, we got 47 laps to go, Chris. We've had 0 cautions here tonight. I think there's going to be a few people who might call out tomorrow and say, I can't come in because my right ankle is killing me.
Yeah, my right ankle, my shoulders, everything. Jeff Hartline in the 97. Looks like he is trying to get back up to speed. Hartline has taken pits. So a couple of trucks out there, Noah Van Hoot, Jeff Hartline, and Kyle Krasinski have come down pit road. And this is where we kind of talked about it before, about when are you going to get tires. This is when I would have been waiting for that last pit stop of the race. This is where you need your tires. Your truck's going to feel brand new when you get out of the pit road this time.
I think we're definitely going to see that, Chris. I think a lot of the guys that held off, I mean, there was only, what, 4 trucks, I believe, last time that took tires. So the rest of the field probably will. The nice thing about Talladega, though, is you don't really have to worry about it. I mean, the speeds are staying pretty much consistent, 185, 186 miles per hour, depending on where they are in the draft, doing what they have to do. So we might even see a couple of guys not even take tires, just get track position.
That's true. You would save probably 2 or 2.5 seconds on pit road by not taking any tires. And certainly Talladega is a track you can get away with that at. Although...
And here they come down pit road, Chris.
Yep, pit road. Kyle Gilbert, very aggressive getting on pit road. It worked out for him. As he is down pit road first. The race leader, Michael Cozy, is heading down pit road right now. Blake Decker in the 92 going to be scored as your race leader. He's got the 24 of Dalton Kilroy behind him. Don't expect them to be out on the track for very much longer. They will have to take a pit stop here, but maybe they want to try and lead a lap. Blake Decker in the 92 looking to try and get it done here.
I can confirm, Chris, as I'm down here in the pits with the number 77 crew. That's Michael Cozy Jr. Oh, we have a caution.
Caution on track.
Oh, no.
Oh, no, and it's a big one. Oh, no. Oh, wow. We're going to go back on the Max Speed instant replay to check this one out. Not what they were looking for here, but kind of, you had to think, if it was going to happen, it was going to happen around pit stop time. Trucks are not very well handling at this point in the race. And we're on board. Let's see here. I think I'm in the right spot. Oh, it happened in front. Oh boy. Okay. Happened in front of the 3 car. May need some help finding this one, Rick. It happened in front of the 3 truck of Corey Sherman. You see a car kind of in the middle of the track, and man, it just gets piled into. I'm trying to figure out who it was. And that is the 8 truck, possibly. Travis McChesney. We're going to go back and take a look at him. Ooh. This replay not happy.
No, I'm definitely finding a couple of blanks here and there too, Chris, trying to find out where it is.
Yeah, I can't watch that, unfortunately. Something going on there. But it was the 8 truck, Travis McChesney, who kind of started that one. And there was a few trucks involved. And that is going to change everything about this race. Blake Decker was the race leader at the caution, and he is going to maintain that. There were quite a few trucks that had already come down pit road. So lots of stuff to try and figure out here. And Rick, we've been talking for a very long time. What do you think? Should we take a break?
Let's throw a commercial up.
All right, we'll be right back.
Assist to the front bumper, and he hits him again now. Rayon Fowler into the outside wall.
He's going to pass nearly 3 cars down that front straightaway. and he's going to get them all done with. What amazing.
Race lead to the inside goes Logan Cloudman is going to touch in. Pit press.
Saved it.
What a save.
Look to the outside as Cronkite goes off. De Jong into second place.
Going for the switchback. Oh, pinpoint driving.
It's howling down to the inside.
I tried. There's contact though.
Slide left of the racetrack. Chris Benner drives it back down underneath, and he takes that second spot right back. Joker goes to Garrett Lowe.
Garrett Lowe should take victory with all that contact.
He's going to try and make the move around the outside the parabolica. That's not going to work, but he's going to try and get the cutback here. Get the run out the parabolica. That's beautifully done there. Makashube, there's a little bit of door banging as well.
And we are back here at Talladega under the very first caution of the night. It's been a fun ride here. First caution, we've had one caution lap. We're going to have two more, I think, is how they're going to do it. 3, I believe. We've got 42 laps to go. 11 different lead changes, Rick. And we were trying to find that while we're under commercial break. Still having no real luck as to what happened under that caution.
Well, I just actually found it, Chris, there just as you started talking. It looks like the 8 truck of Travis McChesney was trying to come down pit road. The worn tires gave him a lot of trouble. He actually spun out there, and he shot up into the track, and just like you said, he was kind of stuck there for a moment. And not in a good place, because all those trucks coming out of the dog leg, or out of turns 3 and 4, just saw that truck sitting there, and he wasn't able to get off in time.
So, it looks like Michael Cozy Jr. going to be the race leader still. Second place going to be Blake Decker in the 92. James Mullins in the 14 is going to be starting third. Dalton Kilroe in the 24 has moved up to 4th spot. Tyler Dugan 5th. Chad Oxendine going to be 6th. Ashton Schleiss 7th. Travis Brown 8th. Aaron Ramon 9th. And Spencer Preet in 10th spot, Rick. So there have been some changes, but what hasn't changed? Michael Cozy Jr. up front.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, Chris. Now, unfortunately, as we talked about earlier in the broadcast, these guys no longer have fast repairs. So any truck that was out there that got damaged, I mean, that's definitely going to hurt them in the draft if it didn't blow their motor. Right now, it definitely looks like the number 8 of Travis McChesney has pulled it behind the wall, and he's loading it up into the hauler.
All right, so yeah, quite a few trucks still not out on track. Tyler Gary in the 26, one of those. He came into tonight as the points leader. Noah Van Hoot is not on track. Travis McChesney not on track. Ty Morosco, we knew, had dropped out earlier. And Jamie Walker never took the green flag. So a couple of things have changed here, but what hasn't changed is we have 40 laps to go. These guys have been putting on a great show. There's no doubt. This has been one of the better races here on a Sunday night in a long time. Very clean, very professional. These guys letting people in, letting people have room to move. It's been fun to watch, Rick.
Oh, it definitely has, Chris. I mean, that's just kind of unfortunate, too, for Travis McChesney. Doing what he had to do, he thought he'd come down to the pits, got a little bit too hard into the brakes, which just caused that truck. We talked about it earlier. You know, you're going to throw it into the tailspin. You know, it's at the end of a fuel run, so there's very little weight on the back of these trucks as those gallons tick away, as these laps tick away. And it was just unfortunate. A little bit too hard on the brake. Truck goes into a tailspin, shoots up onto the track, and unfortunately they had a pack coming around right at that same time.
Now, you just touched on a word that I need to think about for a minute. You said fuel run. If this race had stayed green, they would have had to come down pit road one more time. As it is, we're on lap 81, which is 39 more laps. They've came out of pit road 2 laps ago. I expect to see some fuel saving going on, Rick. This may have just become a fuel race.
You're absolutely right, Chris. I mean, one person that you have to watch out for who really can't save too much is that number 77 truck. Michael Cozy Jr. really can't save much fuel, especially if he's leading the race. Now he's got the 92, Blake Decker, right out, and he's going to be on the outside. But the guys that are tucked in behind these two, I mean, with the draft, you can actually let off the gas just a little bit. I mean, this is something that I learned when I was racing way back in the day in NASCAR 2003 with Dale Jr., is that he would always tell us, you know, listen, if you're leading, do what you have to do. You know, you're going to be burning, but for the guys that are sitting back behind, you know, the trucks or the cars, let off that gas just a little bit. You don't have to really push because you're going to work, and those guys are going to be able to save some fuel. And that could come down to a last lap pass where, you know, whoever's leading this race might be able to, you know, might happen to run out of gas, and these guys can get around them.
So
now
oh no, finish your thought.
All right. So one thing that I just wanted to say, I mean, this is where you want to become friends with the person that's behind you, because, you know, if it's a teammate, you know, if 77 had the 01 behind him, you could say, listen, bro, push me to the finish. But that might not happen. I mean, these guys are out here. They've had a long race. They want to win. And we're getting ready to go green, Chris. The lights on the pace car are off. The pace car is down underneath that apron. We're getting ready to go. We're going to find out how all this is going to lead out, definitely.
Yeah, a lot of things still yet to be answered as we are waiting for that green flag to come out. We talked about this at the very beginning of the race. It's a long time before you get that green flag. And right now, Michael Cozy Jr. is figuring that out, Rick, as we are still under caution speed. And there it is. The green flag is out. We're under green again. Lap 81 of 120. And in chat, Tyler Gary pretty much describes what happened in that caution.
Yeah, it is quite unfortunate, Chris. But one thing that now that we are under green again, that's kind of nice, is there is a long train of trucks that are on the inside lane, but the guys on the outside actually has some help. So this is where it's going to get real fun and interesting. These guys have almost a full tank of fuel. Some of them have brand new tires, so this is where it's going to get real interesting. If those three trucks, it looks like the 92, the 24, and the 29 of Oxidine, if they can get a little help from the trucks behind them, they're definitely going to be able to make a run up for the lead.
And we're back to pack racing just like that, Rick. So, yeah, it's kind of neat to see that in the last bits of the race. So, you know, in that way, the caution may have helped us out. The field was very spread out. 12 trucks on the lead lap right now. Lots of trucks that are able and eligible to get their lap back if something else were to happen. So, we're not done yet. We still have a lot of stuff to talk about. These guys, though, on a Sunday night, putting on a great show. And it's going about as quick as I thought it would.
Yeah, definitely, Chris. I mean, it was kind of a bummer there last week when we were off for the Super Bowl. Skittles is out there in chat saying that. But, hey, listen, you know, I think they did the right thing there. And now we're back. We're doing this, and this is a lot more exciting than that Super Bowl. That's for sure.
Watching my dog sleep is more exciting than the Super Bowl was, Rick. Sometimes he has a dream and the paw goes... Anyways. Right now, Michael Cozy up front, and he's got a little bit of help with James Mullins on the inside. The 92, Blake Decker pushing hard on the outside, and he's got a little help too. That Dalton Kilrow and the 24, he's kind of been lurking in that top 5, top 10 all night long. He is looking to try and figure out a way to the front. You see the 19, Tyler Dugan. Haven't talked about him very much tonight. And Ashton Slice right behind him. Chad Oxendine in the mix. And, you know, a lot of names up there again. And, of course, everybody's so close together. After
we have a change for the lead, Chris.
Yeah, we do. Mullins able to sneak around. And, man, what a move that was.
That was a fabulous move. He was not content being there behind the 77, Chris. But you're absolutely right. I was going to say the same thing. Tyler Dugan in that number 19 Tennessee truck. You know, he's been quiet all night. Started in 17th. Now he's running in 3rd position as he moves up onto the outside lane to help push the 77. Michael Cozy Jr., who is back on the lead. Right now, that outside lane has a lot of momentum, Chris.
Yeah, it really does. And Cozy may not want to. Yeah, he had to. He had to get back to that inside line. The inside had a bit of a run. And if he didn't go back there, he probably would have ended up losing the lead. But Tyler Dugan on the outside, really making hay in that 19 truck. He's got the 92 right behind him. Decker pushing. Oh, pushing too hard. Oh, the 14 into the wall. The 19 involved, and it's a big one because it was in front of everybody after that caution. Oh, man.
And that goes back to what,
blown up.
That goes back to what we were talking about earlier in the broadcast, Chris. When these guys are pushing, you want to make sure that you are absolutely positively square on the back of the truck that is in front of you, or else that's the exact same thing that's going to happen right there. That is unfortunate. The commentator curse strikes again.
We're going to go back and see exactly what happened here, as the 92 just wasn't square on the bumper, and oh man, so many cars.
Trucks.
Dollar. We're going to go back one more time, take a peek at it from a slightly different angle. Blake Decker behind Tyler Dugan. Blake Decker had a pretty good run, and then you're going to see kind of gets down low, comes back in, and he's doing that a lot. And again, with all these trucks packed together like that, it kind of happens. They're heading down into turn 3, and then 92 just, oh boy, 14 upside down. Chad Oxendine, Brown. That was the proverbial big one right there. Lots of trucks, blown motors. You see the smoke coming out of them all. And what was going to be a fuel run race, Rick, is no longer a fuel run race. These guys can now make it on fuel if they stay out. So that's something to think about, as Michael Cozy Jr. out there in the 77, hanging out up front. He does have a torn up Ashton Slice in second. Aaron Ramon's moving up into second now. Lots of stuff to kind of sort out. Not at all what these guys were looking to do, as we are under caution number 2 here tonight, with really only 33 laps to go.
I mean, it's always bound to happen, Chris, on a super speedway. The big one is always going to come out. You know, I don't think it was a fault. It was just some racing and just a mistake on the 92's part, where he just wasn't square pushing that 19 and was able to hook him around. Unfortunately, that did take out a lot of trucks because the pack was right there. Now, the first caution that we saw took out a couple of trucks, but you know, he wasn't in that lead pack, so a lot of guys were able to get around him on the, you know, when he was sitting on the track. A couple trucks did not, but this one here, that's just unfortunate. That's going to take out a lot of the front runners.
Yeah, and we've got a little bit of time here, as this field needs to straighten itself out as far as who is running where. And James in chat saying, yeah, that happens. Yeah. Unfortunately, I think there's not a person on the service that hasn't had it happen to them.
Honestly, that just came down to pack racing. These guys are doing a fabulous job out there. Nothing to be sad about. I mean, 2 cautions on Talladega. Yeah. I would put that as a win.
No, we just talked about it. 2 cautions, 5 laps so far under the caution. There will be, I think, 2 more under this caution. 34 laps to go, 11 different lead changes. Cozy Jr. has been up front for 45 laps. Brown, who was involved in that last one, led 33, although it looks like Travis Brown may still be trying to get back out on track. Lots of damage to the front of that truck. You can see it from here. And we're going to go down and take a peek at that real quick. Oh yeah, the front end very beat up, so even if he is able to make it back out on track, speed is going to become an issue. No aerodynamics left there in the 01. He'll come out track, and so he doesn't go down a lap. Then he'll come back on the pit road, I'm sure, for some more repairs. And Rick, that changes the race again, because with that last accident, it puts everybody a lap down from 7th back. At least 1 lap down.
At least 1 lap down, yep. I mean, that's plate racing. I mean, that's exactly what happens. I mean, right now, from what my scoring is showing, which it keeps changing, so I don't know if I really want to say it. Michael Kosey Jr. still in first place. Marshall Newton, we haven't talked much about the 76 driver tonight. He is going to be scored in second. Ashton Slice in the 68 third. Chris Williams in the 50 truck, we haven't talked much about him, in fourth.
And Aaron Ramon is actually on pit road, and there is another engine that is just erupting down there, so can't even see Aaron Ramon's 7 truck right now. Travis Brown back out on track. He is on the lead lap. He's actually being scored as the last car on the lead lap, and I think he's just trying to get back out there so he can catch the tail end of that lead lap. Pace car lights are still on, and Rick, that was it's twofold, right? Because everybody watches the races for the crashes, but you don't want to see most of the field a lap down. But a lot of that happened under that really long green flag stretch.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I mean, these drivers don't want to see the caution either, Chris. I mean, one thing that is nice is it does bunch up the field, but we just saw what happens once that field is bunched up and everybody's back, you know, front to nose. You got 2 lines running. Right now, I'm just looking at race control down here in the garage, trying to figure out what's going on. It looks like Spreitzer Preet is out. Taylor Prey has brought his truck behind the garage, loading it into the hauler along with Chad Oxidine, which is unfortunate because Oxidine's been having a good night tonight. And James Mullen, that is unfortunate. He is also done for the night.
Yeah, looks like Taylor Fry may be out too. Of course, Tyler Gary was out in the last accident, along with Van Hoot and McChesney. Yeah, some pretty big names not on track right now, but we are not done with this one, as we have 32 laps left on this one, and still you can see the smoke bellowing out from pit road from some of those motors that have substituted themselves as barbecues today.
I just thought that's what the pit party was.
Well, Rick, pace car lights are off. We're getting set to go back to green flag racing. And when we hit the start-finish line to go under green again, there'll be 30 laps to go. Mullen says he will be back next week, and I believe him. Had a great run tonight. Yeah, so congratulations on that, James. You got to take something away from a pretty dang good run. You actually led 3 laps here tonight, up front for most of it. So definitely nothing to hang your head over. Racing at Talladega, it happens.
And speaking of next week, Chris, February 17th, we are going to be heading to Gateway Motorsports Park on the oval there for 200 laps here with the Blazing Pedals TRJKarting.com Truck Series. February 24th, we're going to be heading to Kentucky, so we got some good racing coming up.
Yeah. I can't lie. I'm kind of excited for next week. I love Gateway. That's a fun track.
Gateway definitely is a fun track.
Lots of trucks still trying to get themselves back out on track. Every single position matters because it's points. And so you have to try and get it fixed enough to get out there. You might be able to gain a couple positions from the pits. But we are getting set to go back to green flag racing. Pace car lights are off. It's in turns 3 and 4. It's going to take that left-hand turn. And then we have that long wait through the tri-oval before we go green flag racing again. Michael Kosey is going to be your race leader. And we've got Marshall Newton, Travis Brown, Ashton Slice, and Chris Williams. They are on the lead lap, all going to be battling it out.
We're getting ready, Chris, because that pace car is heading down below the apron there, getting ready to do what it has to do.
Hanging back, making sure he can see when the 77 goes. Green flag is out. Michael Kosey Jr., your race leader. He's got Travis Brown right behind him on the outside. Marshall Newton and Ashton Slice. Kosey and the 77. Last week's winner, trying to make it 2 in a row. Getting the challenge from the 76 of Marshall Newton. again, haven't talked about Newton all night long. Here he is leading the race right now, Rick.
Yeah, and he's got a good helper right behind him there, the 68 Ashton Slice pushing. I think one of the issues that the 77's having with the 01, now they are teammates, they are good friends, but there's a lot of damage on that 01 truck, and he's not able to really suck up to the bumper of that 77, but the 77, Mike Cozy Jr., is getting a little bit of run, but the outside lane is taking right back over again. We're going to have a new leader, Chris.
Yeah, Marshall Newton doing a fantastic job, doing exactly what he needs to on the outside to try and stay in front. And you're right, Rick. Brown is not able to help Cozy right now as he has got way too much damage. Newton and Slice go down in front of Michael Cozy. Cozy now in third spot. We have a new race leader, and it's Marshall Newton, followed by Ashton Slice. The outside may not be done yet, as we have the 97 Jeff Hartline out there. Now, Jeff is down a couple of laps, but if you can get the outside line going and you got somebody on the lead lap, he might be tempted to hop out there in front of you. And, of course, I'm looking at the 68 of Ashton Slice being the first truck that would maybe consider it to try and get around Marshall Newton in the 76. On board right now with Marshall Newton. He is up front and looking to try and stay there. Lap 92 of 120, and the laps are really starting to wind down now, Rick.
That they definitely are, Chris. We're on lap 92 of 120.
On board now with Ashton Slice. He's watching the race leader, Marshall Newton, being very careful not to get onto his bumper in the corner. They're now into the tri-oval. And Newton leads another one in that 76 truck. And you see the outside just right there. It hasn't lost momentum, but it does have a couple of lap down trucks in it. So if I were a lead lap truck, I'd be like, boy, how can I use this? How can this be in my favor?
That's one thing that Ashton Slice is probably thinking about, Chris, because right now to make a pass, he has to go on to the outside lane unless something happens to the 76 where he pushes up a little bit, but I don't really see that happening. You also get the 77, like Cozy. He knows what he's doing. He's led a lot of laps here tonight, but that's one issue with those trucks being on the outside lane, and these guys know that they're a lap down, so there's no reason to go up and try to block them a little bit, let them do their thing. But Ashton Slice definitely trying to think, listen, I could try to shoot out. Maybe Cozy will go with me, but then we're going to make it 3 wide. And when you make it 3 wide, things can happen real quick.
Now, I don't know if I would try and make it 3 wide at this point. The 77, Cozy, does go up into the top lane. I don't know if he was just tight and he pushed up there or not, but Cozy now to the outside lane, and the 97 has a nice little head of steam. So Marshall Newton really going to have to try and figure out a way to fend that off.
I think that's what Cozy was actually trying to think, and maybe, hey, if we can get these guys going up there, it's going to be, both lanes are going to have 3 trucks doing what they have to do. Maybe we can get back up there and see, but right now that's not working out for him. It's going to be interesting to see if he stays up there or if he comes down behind the number 50 truck. That's for Chris Williams doing what he has to do, sitting there right now in 3rd position. He might leave his stay up. He lost 3rd to Cozy Jr., but it's kind of an interesting move on the 77 on his part, Chris. I don't know how long he's going to stay up there. It looks like we have another pack of 4 trucks coming on that inside lane. They're catching the draft, starting to catch up a little bit. That could spell trouble for the 77.
If we get another pack of trucks before the 77's back in line, he could find himself falling back. But the second pack there being led by the 01 of Travis Brown. We know the front end of that truck is slightly damaged, but the 66 behind him doesn't care. Paul Coleman pushing him, and they are definitely closing up. The 01 gets behind teammate of Cozy.
We're going to go 3
wide. We are now 3
Chris.
wide. 3 wide at the line. The 76 did have the lead, but now Cozy does have it by a nose. with a huge push from teammate Travis Brown in the 0-1. Man, that was a heck of a strong move right there. Ooh, we got one under the apron, able to get back, no problem. Made my heart jump a little bit.
And we're still going 3 wide, Chris. The 0-1's getting back onto the back bumper. The 77 being pushed by that number 66. That's going to get Michael Cozy Jr. back in the lead, Chris.
Cozy is to the lead. Teammate, the 0-1, pushing for everything that he can. Marshall Newton trying to defend it off, not able to. Whew. Brown has enough truck to be a very good pusher. That's what we just found out. Ladies and gentlemen, that was awesome.
And that's what teammates are there for, Chris. I mean, it's hard for Brown to do much with that, the damage on that Toyota. Excuse me. But, well, now he's being pushed in front of the 77.
You say it's hard, but the 66 of Paul Coleman pushing the 0-1 to the lead. Travis Brown, your race leader right now. Oh, the 66 gets into the 0-1. The 0-1 off track went from the lead to gone. Just like that, Cozy without a teammate now. The 66 got into the back bumper. And the 0-1 is gone.
Now, while that didn't really work out for the 0-1, Chris, that was definitely the move of the race right there, I think. I mean, here he comes. He's got a damaged truck. He's being pushed by the 66. He gets his teammate back into the front of the pack. Then he takes over the lead for a split second there. Holy cow.
Travis Brown was actually able to save that truck. He's still out there. He's on the lead lap, running 5th, but with no drafting help, and damn it should. He does not have speed right now. So we focus in on the top 3. That's Cozy, Newton, and Slice. And we'll throw in the 50 truck. Chris Williams in the 50, sitting in 4th spot on the outside, trying to make a move. Chris Williams looking to try and get in front, and does, of Ashton Slice. And he's doing it, Rick, with a side draft because there is nobody right behind him. Although the 78 is trying to get there. The 78, William Locklear, trying to give the 50 a little bit of help.
Looks like Locklear got a little tight there. Chris moved up a little bit, but he's back in line doing what he has to do, trying to catch up to the back bumper of that number 50 truck. Ooh, we get, is that Aaron Bockover?
Yeah, Bockover is blinking. I just went on him and my screen went black, so definitely a blink there.
And Chris Williams in the 50, Chris, he is getting a run on that outside lane, getting help from the 78. Looks like the 97, Jeff Harline, trying to help them out also. Holy cow.
This race far from over as we're about to cross the start-finish line to make it 20 to go. And Chris Williams in the 50 truck looking to try and lead this one from Cozy. He's out in front by a nose. Chris Williams, add him to the list of people who have led this race. Woo. Williams in the 50, losing a little bit in 1 and 2, but he still has the 78 behind him. Locklear really trying to help out the 50 truck of Chris Williams. Meanwhile, you have Marshall Newton behind Cozy. And you got to ask, I mean, look, Williams wants to finish well. Marshall Newton wants to finish well, but he's got to want to try and get around Cozy at the same time. How is he going to do that when there's trucks up there, up front? And it looks like the 50 with a good run again through the tri-oval. May lead this lap as well. He does. Chris Williams leading going into turns 1 and 2. He's in the middle lane looking for more. If he can figure out a way to get down in front of Cozy, this may be possibly the move to win the race. With 20 laps to go, it's actually not too soon to start thinking about that, Rick.
No, it's definitely not, Chris. I'm trying to figure out what's going on with the number 68, Ashton Slice. He's kind of hanging back there, doing what he has to do. I don't know if he just doesn't like how these guys are racing and he wants to maybe put himself in a position in case something does happen. But he was there a few laps ago, right on the back bumper of the 76, but he has definitely tailed away from that a little bit. Well, that's kind of interesting to see.
Some really awesome racing going on here at the TRJKarting.com Blazing Pedals Truck Series. And it is not done yet, man. The 50 truck on the outside, Chris Williams trying to make a name for himself here at Talladega. And he is getting pushed by a truck, William Locklear, who's 2 laps down. Locklear is got to be, right now, he's got to be Chris Williams' best friend. He's like, come on, Locklear, push me a little bit more.
And that's just something that's awesome to see, and it just shows the respect, Chris. I mean, you know, 78, he's a couple laps down. You know, he doesn't have to be there, but he's there. He could be the person that makes the outcome of this race happen. Right now, though, 77, Michael Cozy Jr. still in the lead, but for how long as they're coming down through, we're about to find out.
And Williams again at the start-finish line, able to take the lead. So Williams has really got that tri-oval figured out, as every time they come to the start-finish line, he has got the lead over Cozy. If he can manage to do that in the last lap, oh, that's game over. But now Marshall Newton with a big push in that 76 truck to the 77. And that really launched Cozy up front. And the 76 now of Marshall Newton looking to take over second solidly, and right now has it. But now the 76 has got to figure out a way to try and take over the lead. And he's not able to do it, as the 50 of Chris Williams able to sneak back up and almost gets to him at the line again. I'm telling you, Williams has got that tri-oval figured out.
He definitely does, Chris. And just checking here in on the team roster, trying to figure out where the 50 and the 76 lie. They are not in TeamSpeak, so I'm not sure. But it's one of those things that you're kind of thinking. I mean, the 76 is not on the right up. Well, he's getting there on the bumper now, trying to push. But is it because what he wants to do is try to get the 77 clear enough around that 50 where he can move up and maybe make a run for the lead? That's the question. I'm sure these guys' mind, I mean, you know, their minds are working right now. They're trying to figure out what they need to do. And that's exactly what might happen here if they can get clear. Right now the 77 is clear of the 50, but the 50 is getting a run once again as the 78 comes up on the back bumper once again.
That 78 and the 50 having an absolute blast out there, as I think Cozy actually led that one too. Actually, yeah, Michael Cozy, he did win that race to start-finish line over Williams that time by. But Williams really does have that tri-oval figure. If you watch, he makes up more than a truck length every single time they come off in 3 and 4 through the tri-oval. So if he's closer, man, he's going to have him at the line, Rick. With 16 laps to go, you have to be thinking about that.
Well, that's one thing I'm watching Ashton Slice once again in that 68 truck, Chris. It looks like he started moving up there, so he's definitely starting to help out a little bit. He knows that there's 16 laps left to go here. These guys got to try to figure out what's going to happen. Right now, Cozy has a really nice, at least a truck length lead right now with the 50, just like you said, is coming into the tri-oval, Chris. Here he comes again. You know, right now, bumper, door, now they're even. He's definitely got that figured out. We got 15 laps.
He just kind of needs the 78 to be just a little closer, I think, to let that draft work for him. If he can do that, he really may have something for Cozy on the last lap. But let's not count Ashton Slice out. Ashton's sitting back there, third car on the inside lane. He's sitting 4th in the field. And he's able to sit back and he's watching all this. You know he is.
Well, that's one thing that we've noticed from watching Ashton Slice, Chris. He is one of those drivers that is very quiet. He does his race. He's, you know, doesn't race too hard until it comes down to the end. Now it's down to the end, Chris. We got 14 laps left to go as they cross the start-finish line up here in a few minutes, because it is a long front stretch here. But definitely on his mind, he's definitely trying to think of what he can do. But right now, he's just kind of stuck there on the inside lane.
Yeah, and up in front of the leaders, you have a lapper. And he is getting out of the way, but that top lane may benefit from him being there. A little bit of draft help from that slower truck up on the top lane. And Chris Williams able to get up front because of it. And wow, does he get up front. If I were him, I'd pull down. And he does. Chris Williams to the lead, and he shuts down Cozy in the 77. Yes, the 78 was the one that helped him get there, but the 78 not really battling for position at this point. Chris Williams did exactly what I would have done. He moved down in front of the race leader, He is going to be a solid race leader this time. Cozy running on his back bumper with no help. Not going to be able to get around him unless maybe he goes to the outside. And we've already seen the kind of draft help you can get out there. But man, oh man, Cozy must be pounding on his steering wheel right now.
And I think right now what Cozy's doing, Chris, he's trying to figure out, maybe talking, trying to get a hold of the 76, saying, hey, listen, if I go up top, which is what they're going to do right now, you're going to go with me? And the answer is yes, Chris. And right now, that's going to leave a big gap there for the 50, so the 77. But now this is going to be interesting, Chris. What is he going to do? Is he going to drop down in front of the 50? If I was him, I would. He is clear right now, but not for long.
Oh, boy.
And he just left him hanging.
Marshall Newton left hanging. Cozy left him there to dry. Newton going to be going backwards. Chris Williams in second spot. The 78 has been established as one of the best pushing trucks out there right now. Lockley are doing a heck of a job, and Chris Williams has got him on his back bumper, but he's got no place to go because Cozy is right in front of him now, and the 76 hanging strong using that side draft. Marshall Newton is not done yet, but he needs desperately somebody to come behind him and help him out.
And I think he might get that, Chris, with the number 97. Trying to get up there, but yeah, the 78, man. If the 78 can get back up there now, if I was Ashton Slice, I might want to move up. Well, maybe not right now, as the 97 does not get up to the back bumper of the 76, but I'm sure that's probably what Ashton's probably trying to think. Like, listen, maybe I can get up there with the 76, help him out a little bit. There's going to be 3 trucks there. Maybe we can do something.
12 laps to go. We have 4 trucks on the lead lap. And it's just as exciting as it was on the first lap. My goodness, these guys are definitely doing everything they can to make this thing exciting tonight.
Now, you know, Chris, you talked about it. You said 4 trucks on the lead lap, and you are absolutely correct. I mean, I don't know about you, buddy, but this brings me back to old NASCAR days. I mean, this is what it is. It might be not good for the drivers because they're kind of disappointed, but hey, listen, that's how pack racing works. That's how super speedways work. And these guys are putting on a heck of a show, man. We got 11 left to go, and we're going to find out the outcome of this right now. It looks like Cozy Jr. has a pretty good lead over Chris Williams. And the 76 truck not able to really get much of a run there, so it's going to be interesting to see, but it's not done yet. I mean, if that 50 can get clear of that 76, he may move up. You never know. We just saw the 7 truck of Aaron Ramon. Haven't talked much about him. He was smart. He said, hey, listen, I'm going to let these guys battle it out. I'm going to get down on the apron. That was a good, respectful move there by the number 7. But right now, Michael Cozy's still doing what he has to do. But, man, the 76, Marshall Newton, not giving up, Chris.
No, he's really not. And he's doing it a lot with the side draft. The 97 is trying to help him. And that's Jeff Hartline. He's trying to help him. But then there's so much gap there that Marshall Newton has to kind of employ the side draft. Now, right now, he's a little too far away from the 78 to have that. So he's going to depend again on the 97 to get him back up there as the top 2 trucks really start pulling away now with Locklear, the 78, just definitely the best pushing truck out on track right now from what we're seeing.
Yeah, I mean, if the 97 can get up there, the 01 can get up there. I mean, the 66 is right there once again, Chris. And then we have the 44, Aaron Bach over. They're all on that outside lane. If they can get up there and start getting nose to tail and start pushing that 76, that could change a lot of different things. That could give the 50 a chance to move up and get in with that draft. It looks like here comes the 97 getting up onto the back bumper. The 76 starting to move up, Chris, on that outside lane. If I was a 50, I don't know, man. I might have... Oof.
Still a little too soon to make your final move here with 9 laps to go. But certainly you can start seeing a little bit of action. So I'm looking at the 50. He's poking once in a while. I'm looking at the 76. Really, he's decided that the outside lane is where it's going to go. If I was the 50, I'd be trying to tune into the 78 and saying, hey, man, any way you'd go with me to the outside?
Well, one interesting thing to note, Chris, which just was told to us in chat, Chris Williams in that number 50 truck, he is what they are, is from the B League. So this is his first race here with the Premier guys on Sunday nights, and man, what a heck of a show he is putting on and doing. That is just outstanding to see.
All right, so Marshall Newton decided he was going to come down and he did so right in front of Ashton Slice. So Newton falls in the line. We're single file. This could open up. Okay, this is going to be interesting because this is definitely going to open up the outside lane now for the 50. And we see Travis Brown in the 01 somehow has made his way back up to the front pack. We know how damaged that 01 truck is, and he is making a move back to the 01 truck, and he's got Marshall Newton right in front of him. We saw what the 01 was able to do with teammate Michael Cozy. Now he's got the 76 truck in front of him. Is he going to push that hard again?
Well, you know, he also has the number 66 truck behind him, Chris, Paul Coleman Jr. So you never know. I mean, those guys helped the 77 get it back up to the lead, and it looks like they're starting to push that 76 truck. As of right now, Chris, coming down through the backstretch, it looks like the 76 has it. That outside lane is definitely, well, they got the 17 truck up high too, so they're using that draft also. Ooh.
76 is ahead by a little bit. That's Marshall Newton. He's got the 01 of Travis Brown pushing. Travis Brown, what a night he's had. You know, he was leading some laps earlier. He got into a position where he was running like around 8th position for a lot of the race. Got damage. Kind of ruled him out, saying no, he's just not going to have any speed. Then he pushes Michael Cozy to the lead in a shot. Gets turned, goes below the apron, somehow makes his way back up to the top of the lead pack. Yes, he's a lap down, but what a race for Travis Brown.
Travis Brown having a heck of a night, Chris. I mean, it is unfortunate right now. He is sitting in 5th. He is the first truck 1 lap down, doing what he has to do. I mean, he helped his teammate, but now this is the fun thing. He's got Marshall Newton there in front of him. He is pushing Newton. I don't know if I'd be too happy if I was Michael Cozy Jr. But listen, I mean, they're good friends. I'm sure they're having a heck of a time, probably chatting in their own little channel, going, "Hey, man, thanks for the help. Do what you have to do. Make sure you're having fun." Right now, we have 5 laps left to go, Chris. This has been an outstanding race. I mean, and again, to see Chris Williams, you know, so he was on the Friday Night League that we talked about earlier. If anybody out there wants to come and race with the Blazing Pedals, sign up for their basically training league. And what that is, it's an entry-level league that they do. They race them on Friday nights. You're driving the trucks. You're on the same tracks that the Sunday night guys are on. You're doing the same distances. The only difference is you're not broadcasting. And just like Chris Williams, I mean, here you are. You prove that you can race there. You're clean. You're respectful. And then you're in the premiere show. This is so awesome to see him do that. And the 76 takes over Marshall Newton, Chris.
Yeah, while you were talking, Brown did, well, what he's been doing for the last 20 laps or so. He pushed another truck to the race lead. Newton up front. Cozy Jr. behind him, followed by Chris Williams. Ashton Slice still in the picture. Actually, you see his Icebreaker's hood right coming into the bottom of the picture and falling off. He's got the 78 of Locklear, a lap down truck just in front of him. So right now it's really a battle for the top 3. And the 44 pops out to the outside. Oh no, the 50 coming down pit road. 50 coming down pit road, goes sideways into the grass of the infield. Couldn't make it on fuel. Had to come down pit road, didn't do it the right way. Unfortunately, Williams comes down through the grass. And, man, that's not how you want to see a race end right there for somebody.
No, definitely, but I bet you his crew chief was screaming in the radio, "Chris, you need to come down. We need fuel. We need fuel. Just come in and get a splash. Get back out there." It is unfortunate. We have 3 laps to go right now. Marshall Newton at 76 had a great night, man. I mean, he started 29th, and this is going back to what I was talking about earlier in the broadcast. It doesn't matter where you start at a super speedway. Here's a guy who was 29th position. That's pretty much, well, that was the last truck on that lap. Now he's leading the race. You got Aaron Bockover in that number 44. He's doing what he has to do. He is, actually, Aaron Bockover looks like he is on the lead lap, Chris. So he's going.
He's on the lead lap because he passed the leader.
Okay, yep, there we go.
So he's trying to get his lap back the old-fashioned way with 2 laps to go here at Talladega. Really not going to make it back around, but good job for Bockover to get back up front and at least try and contend to get the lap back. The battle is going to be between Marshall Newton and Michael Cozy Jr. And right now, the job for Marshall Newton is to make that truck just as wide as he can. Right now, Cozy to the outside. Cozy Jr. to the outside. And look at the trucks come down. A lot of trucks are trying to help out Marshall Newton. On the inside, you got Locklear to the outside in the 78. We know how good that truck can push. But right now, it's Newton. Newton's going to take the white flag here, Rick. Oh, no! Bockover cut into the 76 just a little too much. I thought for sure he was going to go around, able to hold on to it as we are 1 lap to go. Oh, my. It's going to be an absolute drag race. Cozy on the outside. Right now, your race leader, the 76 to the inside, Marshall Newton. Newton moves up a little bit, trying to get a little side drafted. 44 of Bockover, not done trying to push the 76 to the front yet. This race far from over, as this track is huge, but it is getting there. We're going to bring it right here so we can try and see who's in front. Right now, it's Cozy, and now it's Newton. They're swapping back and forth. Newton hanging on to that yellow line for everything it's worth. Marshall Newton trying to take the win. He's got a lot of pressure on the outside. Michael Cozy Jr. trying to move up. Newton, Cozy, side by side, coming through the triangle. They're hitting doors. Oh! Marshall Newton may have taken that one.
Michael Cozy
Cozy
Jr.,
takes it. We're going back.
That was the photo finish.
We're going back. We're going back. We're going to the photo finish camera, which I've been saving for this moment. Oh, my Lord. It's going to take a second for him to get here, guys. It's going to take just a second. But, man, oh, man, what a finish. Was that it? No, it wasn't. Oh, this is so hard. I want to be on the right. There they are. Coming into the screen, you see Newton. The right front is already off the track. Cozy has him by just a little bit. And it's so fast, I couldn't catch it at the start-finish line. But Michael Cozy Jr. taking it home tonight. Second race in a row for Cozy Jr.
What an outstanding race, Chris. What an outstanding finish. These guys put on one heck of a show right down to the last lap, man. That is what I love about Talladega.
I'm being asked, what was the gap? Are you ready for this? 7 1/1000ths of a second. Michael Cozy Jr. wins this one by 7 1/1000ths of a second, Rick.
That is just amazing, Chris.
Absolutely awesome. Guys, stay tuned. We're going to be bringing you post-race interviews here in just a few moments. Rick and I need to step away, catch our breaths. We will be right back. Oh, Gilbert and Schleiss contact.
Travis Brown trying to get down there, maybe get a little side draft off of him. He's about as close as he dared get. Oh, Travis Brown! Cozy to the inside.
Oh, a little contact there.
Oh my, I'm telling you, we're
rewind.
Oh my gosh!
Man, Michael Cozy Jr. is not playing no games there.
Battling for second place. Oh no!
Oh, he does.
Lewis tries to correct it, comes back out on track, not able to do it. Best racing we've seen on a Sunday night in a long time, happening right here.
going to get them all done with. What amazing.
Lead to the inside goes Logan Cloudman is going to touch in. Pit press sideways. What a save.
Look to the outside as Trunke goes off. De Jong into second place.
Going for the switchback. Oh, pinpoint driving.
It's howling.
All right, and we are back here. Man, what a race. We're going to bring up third place finisher Ashton Slice on that number 68 machine. Mr. Slice, you got Chris and Rick up in the booth. Do you have a copy, my friend?
Yeah, I got you.
Man, what a race. Holy cow. Tell us a little bit about it, man.
It was just crazy the whole time. I'm honestly surprised we didn't get that many caution laps. I thought it was going to be a lot more, but such a fun race. Kind of long, but definitely a fun one to be a part of.
Oh, definitely. Well, number one, I want to say congratulations on third. You had a heck of a race, man. We were talking, as you're going to find out if you watch the replay of the broadcast tonight, we were trying to figure out what you were doing because you kind of had, hung back a little bit there in the closing laps. And I was like, well, maybe he's just waiting to see if a caution is going to come out so we can get into a position to, get past all the carnage and take over the win, or didn't know if you're trying to save fuel there. What was going on there?
Nah, I was full bore the whole time. I got caught up in that huge wreck, and it got me some right rear and some right front damage, I believe, and completely screwed me. But still fun,
Well, that's what it's all about, man. Listen, congratulations on your third place finish. I want to say also congratulations because you actually won $5 for coming in third tonight.
Hey.
So I'm sure Mark or Ryan will be getting that over to you there, man. Listen, is there anybody out there you'd like to thank?
Just gotta thank Mark and Ryan for doing some live race control. Gotta thank teammates at Rebellion, and gotta thank you guys for putting on the broadcast.
Well, excellent, brother. Congratulations once again. Get ready for next week over at Gateway. I hope you have a good night.
Yeah. Thank you. I will. You too.
All right, thanks, buddy. And that there was third place finisher. Now we're going to be bringing up second place Marshall Newton in the number 76, if I can find where he moved to here. There he is. Marshall Newton. You have Rick and Chris up in the booth. Do you have a copy, buddy?
10-4.
Hey, man. Holy cow. What a race. What a finish. Tell me a little bit about your race tonight, man.
Yeah, the beginning of it didn't really go my way. Had to start it, on pit road for what I did last time we went out here, and yeah, I didn't think I was going to get my lap back. Everything just started falling my way.
Well, that's the great thing about, Talladega is one of my favorite tracks. I love super speedway racing because it doesn't matter really where you start the race. Our scoring's telling us that you started 29th, so you did start out in the pits. That was unfortunate, but listen, man, it worked out for you. Tell me a little bit about the end of the race, man.
Oh, yeah, that was fun. Man, I've never really led a race before. And, to get the white flag was really fun, too. Really thought I had him there. Should have doored him a little sooner.
Well, listen, that was a really close finish. I think Chris said it was like less than 7/10 or something like that. Man, you guys were close. It was an awesome finish. I'm sorry you didn't get the win, but one thing I do want to tell you, number one, congrats on second place finish. Starting from the back on pit road, doing what you have to do, man. That's something that you should definitely be proud of. The other thing is Blazing Pedals is giving you $10 for coming in second tonight, so congratulations on that. Is there anybody out there you'd like to thank?
Yeah, shout outs to everyone at Rebellion Racing. Congrats to Cozy for the win. Thanks to him for racing me clean there. Also, shout outs to Travis Brown for giving me a big old push up there.
Well, that's the thing, man. It was such an outstanding. It's hard with plate tracks because usually for the most part of the race, it's nose to tail. The guys are doing what they got to do. But man, you guys put on one heck of a show tonight, and that finish. Be proud of that, buddy.
Yeah.
All right, man. Well, hey, listen. Next week is going to be Gateway. We can't wait to see you next Sunday night there. I hope you enjoy that second place. Congratulations once again, and we look forward to talking to you again next week.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome, bud. Take care.
And that was Marshall Newton, who brought the 76 home second. And go ahead.
Before we talk to number one, I want to bring somebody up here real quick, Chris.
Yep.
Mr. Brown, you have Chris and Rick up in the booth. Do you have a copy, brother?
Are you? Hello?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, what's up?
Hey, buddy, listen. You came in fifth tonight. You had a heck I mean, a heck of a race, man. I mean, you did some amazing things out there in that 01. You helped Michael Cozy Jr. multiple times get up to the lead. You guys worked together. You did an awesome job, man. Congratulations. Tell me a little bit about your race.
Well, I woke up this morning, and I wasn't planning on racing, but I decided to race, and kind of got in there late and got the pole. And then I sped going on the pit road on the first pit stop, and I thought it was over. You know, I was pretty down in the dumps. But I remember to never give up. That's the message I send to fat kids across the world, and I wasn't about to give up. And I kept digging. I got caught up in that big wreck. It was a huge wreck of biblical proportions. But even then, I wasn't going to give up. I knew that the 01 BCR Bazaar Toyota Tundra had it in it. And I only drive a Tundra because they don't have Fords for some reason. But, yeah. And then I got up there with Paul. Man, I haven't raced with Paul in years. But, I mean, he's laying the wood to me. I had to bite the pillow a couple of times. And he pushed me all the way to the front. And got up there. And my bumper, I think, was a little torn up. And we were kind of indecisive on if we were going to go down. And he kind of got me hooked a little bit, and it just got me a little squirrely, and I had to saw on it. But I got it under control. You know, I've done this long enough. I've wrecked enough to know how not to. That makes sense. After 5 years of wrecking, you kind of figure it out. But yeah, I am, man. I wear an Oculus now, and it gets kind of hot, so I'm kind of sweaty. So I'm gonna kick back, play me some Fortnite, have some water. Then I'm probably gonna hop in my my truck and go down to the local Waffle House and get me some hash browns and call it a night. But I appreciate you guys, man. I'm excited to get back and go watch it. You know, I don't know if you can put videos on a Tinder profile, but I might put that save on my Tinder profile because I think I can pull some mad hoes with that thing.
Well, you know, I bet you probably can, brother. And one tip for the Oculus, if I could give you anything, because I have the same problem of mine, if you get a little fan and stick it somewhere in front of you so it's blowing on you, that does help a lot. But listen, you came in, you know, you said that you weren't sure you wanted the race tonight. I'm glad you did. I like your message of telling people never to give up. And one thing I also want to pull you up here for is to let you know that you are the MaxSpeedTV move of the race. You did an awesome job, so you're going to be winning $5. Mark Arthur is going to get that over to you, or Ryan, one of those guys. So congratulations on that. Get an extra plate of hash browns, buddy, and congratulations, and we look forward to seeing you next week.
I appreciate that, Rick. I really do. Yeah, so just thank everybody. Thanks everybody for watching. This was a lot of fun. One of the best races I've been a part of in this league. So, but yeah, I really appreciate you guys, and like I said, I'm gonna enjoy those hash browns a little more now.
Excellent, brother. Well, thank you. We are honored to be here and bringing all the action here at the Blazing Pedals TRJKarting. It was fun watching you, buddy. You have a good night.
You too, man.
I've hit the red button. Yes, I do. Yeah, well, I don't know. I thought I lost for most of that. I didn't have confidence in who I had behind me. I didn't know who he was or what he was about. I knew there was a couple lap cars up in there, and it was just that 3, I think, on the lead lap. And I just wanted to, if I could race it out with just those 3, I would have been all right. But those lap cars, I don't know what the lap cars are gonna do. I don't know if they're gonna back off or just keep on racing with us or what. But yeah, I stayed on the bottom most of the race, and that's where I wanted to be. I wanted to be in the lead on the last lap, and I wasn't there. So I just tried to side drive as much as I could. Try to slow those guys down on the bottom, and try to get those guys shaking around. And yeah, I thought I lost it there. We got to door, and I guess Newton doored me. I don't know if I doored him, but we got together, and I think that's what won me the race. But yeah, I just tried to keep it close as much as I could. But yeah, it worked out barely. Yeah, I wanted the tires, but or actually no, I'm sorry, I didn't want to take tires, but I took tires since it takes so long to refuel. It was kind of dumb not to take tires, so it was right there around halfway, I guess the second or third pit stop, And yeah, I was working well with Travis there, and I qualified like third, and I just wanted to ride behind him since you know, I always work really well with him, and I just wanted to ride with him and, you know, just kind of run single file since it was such a long race, and kind of just work with everybody and, you know, get on with it. So yeah, after that, I think he got a speeding penalty, which sucked, and I inherited the lead after that. And after that, man, I just had Schleiss behind me. He worked great with me and pushed me through that entire run. So I couldn't have done without him. And Newton was up there helping. Gilbert was up there, all those guys. So I really appreciate all those guys. And yeah, just kept it out front, man. Then we had that huge crash. Oh, man, that scared the crap out of me. That was a major code brown. I saw all those guys getting hooked, and I thought I was going to get hooked there, too. And it was close, man. And all those guys started crashing. I was pretty confident after that because that took just about everybody. But, yeah, after that, man, that was the strategy of the whole race, just to stay up front and not be a part of the big one. Either that or stay all the way in the back, just get away from all the crashing. So, yeah, after that, it worked itself out. Yeah. Yeah, thanks to those guys. I wish Popeyes wasn't closed, but yeah, missed about 45 minutes. But yeah, that's great. I got total in what was it, like 2 laps to go? I think somebody mentioned it in the team channel. So I don't know. I wasn't really thinking about the money too much, but yeah, that's nice, man. I have to hit up Popeyes more then. Yeah, I got a much bigger list. Hold on a second. So first off, thanks to TRJKarting for supporting the series and sponsoring. I want to thank my primary sponsor, Indie Racing Images and IndieRacingImages.com for being on the car. And then I got a huge list of supporters and YouTube members and everybody on the truck that I couldn't do without them. So thanks so much to these guys. Newton, who's actually pushing me some tonight. Hunter. Spencer Preet, Cameron Kane, Tyler Diggin, Dude, What If Racing, Matthew Hibbert, Motorsports Games, Ziegler, Misscraft, Band for Days, Steve Goodwin, Red Falcon, Robbie Rock, Brett Ellison, Moonhead, Jonathan, Casey Wood, Patrick Starr, JPL, Project Vash, Dennis, Jarrett, Sloom, The Random Duo, Mark Eckstein, Rogue, Ryan, T-Fane, Ellisfield, Ed Soundhead, Cleveland, Ethan, Show Me Your Doodle, JJ Lawson, Monster Toe, Kay Hill, Gabriel, Jeff Nooney, Jared Underhill, and Caleb. I want to thank all those guys so much. Couldn't do without them. Thanks for broadcasting. Thanks to everybody who helps the league run. And that'll do it.
All right, bud. Well, that was pretty cool. And again, congratulations on the race win and the $15 to take it home. And man, what a way to spend a Sunday night. Michael Cozy Jr. bringing it home first place. Marshall Newton second. Ashton Schleiss third. We're going to go through the complete roundup here. As soon as we get to unofficial results. So it's Cozy, Newton, Schleiss, Bockover, and the 44 finished in 4th place. Brown ended up in 5th. Then we've got Williams, Locklear, Coleman, Krasinski, Hartline, Ramon, Sherman, Dees, Kilrow, and Gilbert. And they were followed by Tim Habiak, Preet, Oxendine, Decker, Mullins, Dugan, Foster, Frey, Baumgarten, and Tyler Gary. Tyler Gary having some rough night of it. It's finishing 23rd. We got Van Hoot, McChesney, Morosco, Walker, and, well, we know Ryan didn't actually race. But, hey, we'll throw him out there anyway. Way to go, Ryan. Way to finish it up in 30th spot here tonight. And that's going to just about do it for us here at Talladega, Rick. What a ride, man.
Oh, it definitely was, Chris. And it looks like we had a little bit of technical difficulties there during the interviews. So for the people that didn't hear, 3rd place got $5 payout. 2nd place got 10. And Cozy Jr., he brings home 15. And then Mr. Brown got the MaxSpeedTV move of the race there. So he's going to be coming home with $5 also. So sorry about the technical difficulties. We'll definitely get them worked out. But Chris, Talladega, it was everything that I hoped for, everything that I mean, the only thing that I wish was different was I was out there with these guys. They put on a heck of a show. If anybody out there wants to race with these guys, look up the Blazing Pedals Entry League on iRacing. Get with Mark Arthur, Sam Baumgarten. There was a couple other guys out there. and start going with the entry leagues on Friday nights, and then you can hopefully get here on Sundays, these guys. But man, definitely, I'm going to go, and I'm going to take off my TRJKarting sweatshirt, hang it up in my nice clean closet, and get it ready for next week, man, for Gateway.
Yeah, what a blast. We'll see you again next Sunday night right here on MaxSpeedTV.
We got a brand new leader here. Joshua Pina takes it to the lead in front of Hunter Johnson.
Yeah, that 45 truck, though, is charging pretty hard with that outside lane. Perfectly formed up right now, and it looks like he'll be going for the lead down the backstretch.